Cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers. Happy Thursday, April 28th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It is a big day. Today, Thursday, April 28th, happens to be the birthdays of two low baggers whom I love dearly. First off, Nut Flush Allen, who's here every day, and he's been crushing NHL. He's just a great gambler. He has a great family. Got to head over to his house and meet them all and hang out with them in Vegas, Miami, you name it. We partied there. San Antonio. I love you, Nut Flush Allen. Happy birthday. And Rocky Meniketti. What a great, great guy. Two great guys celebrating their birthdays today. Rocky Meniketti, happy 60th birthday. Who knows how old Nut Flush is? He could be 52. I'm guessing 50. Maybe not. Maybe. I think he's probably younger than that. Maybe 49? 52, 50, maybe 51. Let's go with 51. That's my guess. Shout out to everybody joining the show. Great to see all of you guys. It was such a strange day yesterday. There was times where I thought I was just lighting up and smoking the card, and then the Pirates first five pushed, the Red Sox first five pushed. So those are big plus lines. The Rays -1 pushed. I opened up with the Mets -1 losing. Then the D-backs first 5+1/2 in LA Dodgers, Arizona first 5 under 4 cash. Thought I was in great shape, but then Houston Texans first 5 under 4.5 got smashed in the fifth inning, and Cleveland LA first 5 under 4 was just a terrible look. So 3-3 down 0.49 units in MLB, 1-1 down 0.1 unit in NBA. Nuggets first quarter. I mean, that was the only spot in the game they didn't cover, but I did cash that first quarter under 58. Shout out to Piker, aka Poker Addicted 79, aka Seamus Ignoramus, who's all over the under in the Denver Warriors game. He just loved that spot. We have Dutch Boy Fresh on the show today to break down NBA 49-26, 65.3%. Are you kidding me? Up 21.68 units on the show. ROI plus 28.91%. And we're in the playoffs. That's how incredible he's been with an average line -105. NHL was a little upsetting. The Vegas Chicago over was nice and comfortable casher, and then Knights -1.5 lost. Mr. Gogster swept his two bets yesterday in NHL, getting hot right at the right time of year. And shout out to Birdie, who did believe that both the Blackhawks and Coyotes would take care of business. And it didn't look like that was going to be the case at first. Now it is. Shout out to all you guys joining us. We have a lot of work. I know some of you guys want to start with MLB. We're not. We're going to start with NHL. We're going to get through it quickly. It'll give us still lots of time to break down these early games. So don't worry. Sharpie's joining us for MLB. And Viper says the Fetty Fade continues to pay on White Sox first 5 cards, first 5 -1/2 so far. That's from Viper NB in the house. Let's see if I'm missing it. Okay. I hear you. I will do that right now. Thank you for letting me know, Jose. There we go. We're in business there. And Dennis Garcia says, I remember like 4 months ago when Jimmy said he can't envision Kemper holding Stanley Cup over his bed. Now he thinks Colorado's team to beat. What changed? Statistics changed. You know who's been better than Jacob Markstrom in the second half of the NHL season? Darcy Kemper. Look, his stats were incredible in the second half of the year. He stepped up, and Joe Sakic was right. Dennis Garcia says, A, they don't play defense, and B, they get all their points on the power play. Well, you know, you have the best coach in the NHL. And I hope that the Flames and Avalanche get to meet up when push comes to shove, and that all the players are healthy on either side. You know, Dennis Garcia says, say with me, Johnny Gaudreau was the best 5-on player in the NHL this year. 10 more 5-on-5 points, and the second best player, plus 62, deserves the heart over other guys. You know, offensively, he was the best player. And I would have to review some of his Corsi numbers, but he was very, very good this year. And it doesn't matter that he's, you know, soft as butter, you know, and can't physically instill his will on anybody on the ice. To you, it doesn't matter. To others, it does. But yeah, with the puck on his stick and with a great coach making him defensively accountable, he seemed to be in the right space at the right time. And I'm glad that you are so excited about your Flames action, Dennis. Matty Ice giving a happy birthday shout out to our guy Nut Flush. Alan says, have a great day. Sammy Culmer making a move. I believe he's a Canadian tennis player whom I don't know how to pronounce his name, which is embarrassing. I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce that Canadian tennis player's name. Chelsea team total over 1.5 and Raptors money line, Mavericks money line. I'm on both of those. Dan Kelly wishing Nut Flush Alan a happy birthday. There's Lamont Williams in the house. Man, is Lamont running hot right now. Mr. Vape ready to go. As Mr. Vape says, he wins $2,500 on a $10 free bet for my book if Ottawa wins in regulation. I think there's a good chance of that happening. That's one of the moves that I've already made in NHL. I got plus 220 down to plus 175. I think there's a very good chance of that happening. But $2,500 on a $10 free bet if Ottawa wins, it's wild. Well, I mean, the easy thing there is just to take. I guess it could go into overtime. I think it'll just be a live betting situation for you, Mr. Vape, would be probably the best way of handling it, watching the game and betting accordingly live. Hoping that Ottawa does get up early. You could place a bet pregame, on Florida, which Florida, I don't know who they're very concerned about injuries. They lost 2 guys last game, and Brunette's already talking about that, about being so concerned about injuries. We'll see if other guys have some ideas. Dennis, moving on, some NFL futures today. There's Justin Bilbo, Chief, Max, Swelly, ready to go. TJ says, Dan Birdie crushed NHL tonight. He sure did. And the Taint play of the day is already in. Taint play of the day, White Sox first 5 minus a half. White Sox first 5 minus a half. Let's set that all up. Thank you for sharing that with us, Matty Ice, my guy. Let's get that in here. White Sox first 5 minus a half. Taint is in. All right, we got to move. We got afternoon action. We got so much to work on. Jay Peasy, Leonard Porsche Jr. in the house. Viper NB, serious business. Slatsy ready to go. Fat Wally in the house. And there's Nut Flush. Alan says, thank you, teaching everyone for the kind words. I really love each and every one of you. Let's cash. 95 wins, 53 losses for Nut Flush Alan with a ton of plus lines. Yes, I hope you can pop that in there. I love that. I hope you can pop the records in just so we can see your unit size with the spreadsheets I sent you, because it would be better than the record even indicates at this point. Justin Bilbo, Cashman, Richie Rich, Billy Friedrich, TJ, Wine Time, LJ from H-Town, Rocky, Meniketti. There he is. Both birthday guys in the chat. Happy birthday to both of you. Great group. Michael Iverlina. I love it. Okay, Richie Rich says, bring on the Gogster. There's Red Girl, Kyle Hindley, and Nate Dogg, 420, Mark Schillingberg. Okay, it is time to get to work. Love all you guys. Wish I could give a shout out to all you guys, but we got to get right to work. Let's bring in your first guest now. 6 of his last 8 bets on the show have been cashers, getting hot right at the right time. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Gogster in the house.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are we doing today? Thank you, Jimmy. Coming off a nice day yesterday. Surprised Arizona. Holy shit. These guys are just spoiling the party for a lot of these playoff teams. Shout out to our guy Clint. His Coyotes, they're a scrappy bunch. We got a nice card today, guys, actually. I'm on a lot of sides. I got about 4 sides I'm giving out there. No totals as of yet. A lot of back-to-backs for some teams. So, 2 more days till play it till the season's over, guys. So, this is it.
This is it. 2 more days. Well, 2 more days. Then we got playoff action to fire away at. Let's get. I'll copy and paste that, Dennis Garcia. Thank you, and review that so that I won't be unable to pronounce a Canadian tennis player's name in the future. There we go. Let's go right to work now, Mr. Gogster. Yes. We have 9 games on the card, and we got to work quickly. We need to be done in less than 47 minutes. First off, Buffalo Sabres, 31-38-11, 15-20-5 on the road at the Boston Bruins, 50-25-5, 25-13 to a homer at TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Dustin Tokarski versus Linus Ullmark. Ullmark has come back from injury. He only had to make 19 saves in that game against Florida. Florida clearly mailing it in late in the season. But he's back from injury, and it looks like they say he's going to start again, which is interesting.
Ullmark,
what are you reading into that? Are you reading into that Ullmark will be the game 1 goaltender for the Bruins in the playoffs?
See, this is the thing. They're talking about it. They're unsure. They don't want to give out the playoff starter right now, Boston. So they're going to go Allmark and Swayman. But I have a hard time not seeing Allmark starting, Jim. Even with that injury, I have a stat here. I don't want to take it away too much, but he's 8-1, guys, since March the 15th with a .937 save percentage and a 1.65 goals against. So you're crazy not to start Allmark in the playoffs. So I think they're just trying to hold back. They're slumping, though, Jim. They got an over 36 power play of late. So they got some with Pasternak needs it. They got to figure some stuff out. But they're saying they don't want to go too nuts and start teeing up on guys like Carlo in practice. So they need some games in, and this is I think it's going to be an important game for Boston.
I'm not certain of it, but they claim that they want to get the power play right, and then they're going to rest everybody tomorrow against Toronto. So that's what Cassidy's saying. The Sabres have gone from plus 270 to plus 260. I moved on them at plus 270 last night. So I'm on the Sabres at plus 270. Sabres coming off their 4 straight win, 5-3 at home over the Islanders on Saturday. They've won 4 straight games. They've scored 26 goals over their last 6 games. They're 5-1 over that stretch. Skinner and Tage Thompson, goal and assist. They're both playing very well. And Bruins defense is playing very well, but all they need to get there. Also, are we finally seeing Brad Marchand slow down? Yeah. Is this finally happening?
The whole team's old. Like the whole team's kind of, they're better. They're not regular season hockey was tough for Boston this year, but playoff hockey as a whole, they know how to do playoff hockey. It's like surviving in the wilderness. Boston knows how to do that very well. So I think this is an important game for them, Jim. Tokarski going, the goalie situation with Buffalo. If Tokarski's going, which I think he is, I don't like him going, Jim. .889 save percentage for Buffalo, I believe, in the last 10 games too, 6-4. They have been scoring 3.3 goals too. So I just think Boston's they're gonna want this one. And I agree with what you're saying then, beat Buffalo here and then kind of take it easy. Don't send too many guys up to Toronto tomorrow. But Buffalo's power play has been really good. They've got, what do I have here? I think it's something like 38% recently, Jim. It's something silly. Like, it's unbelievable how well Buffalo's been doing. So I still do think Boston get it done. I don't have any action on this game. I was going to throw it in a money line parlay, but I decided to lay off this one.
Yeah, I'm not overly confident. I guess my feeling here is I know that one team is going to keep trying. And look, the Boston power play is a serious problem, so they got to get that right. But
Pasternak's back, so that helps.
Well, he was back last game.
I know. Like, the more games he's going to have going, their power play should.
In this situation, I believe I have more than a 27% chance of the Buffalo Sabres winning. And it just comes down to that simple.
Yes.
So I took the Sabres at plus 270 with the implied probability of 27%. And so let's roll on. Next up, Florida Panthers at Ottawa Senators. This was the best bet on the card.
Here we go.
I know that Birdie hammered it as well. Didn't get the line I got. I got it yesterday at plus 220. Now at plus 175. I love this spot. Panthers have made it clear that they're uncomfortable with Rocco Gudas got hurt and Lundell got hurt.
Yeah.
That makes them very, very uncomfortable. Spencer Knight isn't going to be in between the pipes. He's looked bad of late. Forsberg has looked good. Panthers coming off their second straight loss, 4-2 at Boston on Tuesday night. And it wasn't the Panthers that we remember. I mean, they were held to 3 shots in the third period when they were down.
Wow.
We haven't seen that all year.
The books are throwing them 235 still. So,
yeah, it's surprising to me here. Mason Marchment sat against the Bruins. They brought in Verhaeghe and Thornton. They brought in a bunch of players from Charlotte.
Who did they bring in? They brought in. Do you know?
I don't know, but they added they wouldn't tell us yet. They have to announce it today, so they're going to announce who they're bringing in. A ton of players, right, for the run, for the playoff run. So there's going to be 15 guys there. So you're going to see a lot of Charlotte's team there. Richie Rich, Florida, Ottawa, first period over. Ottawa team total over 2.5 is a banger. Nate Dogg on the over 7 in the Ottawa game. Oh, Gustafson's being confirmed in that. Thank you, Billy.
Really? Oh, fuck. Okay.
I mean, look how bad Spencer Knight's been of late, though.
Yeah, he's a gas can.
Senators coming off their 4th straight win, 5-4 in overtime over the Devils on Tuesday night. Drake Batherson, who got off to such a great start, got COVID, came back, started playing really well, got this high ankle sprain that they said he hasn't looked right until last game. Like it's the first time he finally looks right from the high ankle sprain.
You remember that high ankle sprain? It's when Aaron Dell threw the stick tripped him as he was going around the boards, and he had an awful injury there. It was, fuck Aaron Dell.
I don't remember that spot. No, not offhand. And Stützle's playing very well. 22 goals on the season. He's going to be a monster. Yeah. So I'm on the Senators. What's your plan here?
I'm in the same boat here. I just want to check to see. Do you know if Matthew Joseph, he's out? That's that was some offense they were definitely not relying on, but it was a nice addition. Also, Connor Brown's out for the year, so it looks like did they bring anyone up because the AHL is coming to a close here, Jim. Belleville's going to make a push. Just looking here, they sent up Kastelik and Sabern, so not exactly two guys that are screaming offense. I can tell you that. Those are two guys that are going to try and fight you. They're going to try and claw, or just they're not goal scorers by any means, Sabert and Kastelik. So I'm still going to trust this one here with Gustafsson. I was preferring Forsberg. Forsberg stopped 37 of 41 against New Jersey last game out. He's 1-1-1 with a .939 save percentage against Florida, but he's not going to be in net. So I'm still going to rock with this one. I would have preferred it to be Gustafsson. They've won 4 straight though, 6 of their last 8. Ottawa, unbelievable, good to see. I'm still gonna pull the trigger here. I don't love it as much. Knight though, guys, he got lit up against Ottawa. Gave up 5 goals on first he gave up 5 goals on 37 shots against Tampa Bay, and then he gave up 8 goals against Ottawa last time they played. He got absolutely crushed. So even a team total, the old famous team total. Oh, you know what? That might be it. Team total over Ottawa.
Yeah, that's what Richie Rich is hammering. I'd be curious to see what that is available at. So let me know. But I'm ready to move on to the next spot. Did you make anything official for this one?
So yeah, I still made it official. That's the only shitty thing about those overnights. It's the goalies when they switch. But I got first period Ottawa at plus 160, and I got the money line at plus 210 on the overnight. So. I'm still trying to pull up the team total here, Jimmy.
Okay. Really let me know. I'll set up the next game.
Minus 150.
At 2.5?
Yeah.
That's pretty juicy. I'll turn that into a 3.
Yeah. Maybe some guys in the chat can get a better one. But yeah, minus 145 for Richie. But they scored 8 last time out. It's the only thing that had me a little questionable would be the goalie situation. But then you got Kastelik and Sabern that came up. They're not going to do any offense for them. The other offense is playing in Belleville still. So,
well, let's keep rolling. We got to get through these games. We got afternoon baseball that we want to attack and beat up. Yeah. So let's move on to the next spot. We have 2 spots on the board there for Mr. Gogster, and I have 1. And I'm here again with the New Jersey Devils against the Hurricanes. I got the Devils at plus 270. They're at plus 190 right now.
Wow, nice.
Beat that market. Nice 80 cents beating that market move here. It looks like Kochekov is going to play again.
Is he?
That's what they claim, that Kochekov will be in net once more because we're still dealing with injuries to Freddie Anderson and Antti Ranta. So, well, look, we've seen this before. A young goalie step up, but he's got a great team in front of him, and I'm still not certain how good he is. Looks like, are the Devils going with the Hamburglar? That's what it looked like.
I thought it was maybe going to be Giles here, John Giles. One more thing, Jim Ranta said he tweaked something, but feels good to go now. And Kotkaniemi's skating seems good to go. No Svechnikov.
There's my guy Luis from Costa Rica in the house. Was my bartender there. Miss him very much, man. Great to see you in the chat, Luis. Miss you, man. Spectacular MLB capper as well, man. He's loves the game and is great capper. Great to have you in the chat. So Richie Rich saying that New Jersey team total over 2.5. And Luis, we're going to be in MLB here in a second. We're not in 30 minutes, I should say. 30 minutes. We'll be on MLB. We're rolling here. So interesting. I'd love to know. Oh, Ranta expected. Interesting.
That's what I think. I think it's going to be Ranta. Yeah, I think it's going to be Ranta.
By the way, Wine Time Sports going to be in Vegas at 10 a.m. So he's an hour and a half outside of Vegas. I love hearing that. Wine Time. My guy, man. Let's have yourself a glorious weekend there. Devils coming off their 4 straight loss, 5-4 in overtime at Ottawa on Tuesday. So it depends how you look at it. They're on a 4-game losing streak, but they've got 1 point in 5 of their last 6 road games, and they're playing good hockey at times. Sometimes they have lackluster defensive lapses, but
exactly, yeah.
Hischier's got to be back. I expected him to be back last game. They put up 4 goals without him. He's got to be back. It's a non-COVID illness. I shouldn't say he's got to be back, but I do expect him to be back. And so I beat this line move by 80 cents. Feel pretty good about myself. What are you doing here?
Well, looks like they're going to maybe throw in an extra D here. So Slavin is extra D, so no Svechnikov. It looks like they're going to try and keep this one tight. Lower scoring game is what it seems like they're putting out Carolina. So lean to the under after seeing that, guys, total-wise. But I'm putting Carolina in a money line parlay, Jim. I think it was just the money line. Yeah, it was just a money line parlay. I have it teed up with another one here, guys. So I just have a hard time seeing them not winning this one. One thing, too, I found was they can get the second best record in the East with a win over New Jersey tonight. So this is their last game, too, of the year for Carolina, where the Devils have a back-to-back tomorrow against Detroit. I think Carolina get her done here, last game of the year.
Yeah. So you think Svechnikov is the only one who'll be out?
That's what I'm seeing here from old Chip Alexander. Kotkaniemi seems like he's good to go. Rant a goalie on ice for morning skate. Rant in starters crease. It looks like being that market move by 80 cents tells me that there's more than that. But it very well could be. Very well could be. This was 51 minutes ago. No Svechnikov. Lines are shuffled, so they're shuffling the lines. Slavin is extra D. Will be that kind of a game. So that just tells me it could be a lower scoring game. I still think they're going to get her done. I guess I lean towards the Devils team total under, but yeah.
Well, let's roll on. Washington Capitals at New York Islanders, UBS Arena in Elmont, New York. Richie Rich sent me a message saying he loves this spot for the Capitals here to bounce back against the Islanders. I've not moved on this game. Kenny B, we get it from the beat writers.
Yep. Just Google, buddy. Hurricanes beat writer. It's just going to pop right up, and there you
go. Okay, so let's break this down. Washington, New York. I'm very interested in your take on this. It looks like it's Samsonov, Sorokin. Let me know if that's not going to be the case. Capitals coming up their second straight loss, 4-1 at home to these Islanders on Tuesday. Is there Revenga here?
Oh, yeah.
You think so as well? Okay. Did you move on this game already?
Yeah, I fired hard on. Not hard. Actually, a little harder than usual on Washington regulation, too.
Washington's gone from minus 130 up to minus 150 at bet 365.
Knew it.
And from a total look here, we go from 5.5 up to 6 and then back to 5.5. So went back to 5.5 about 30 minutes ago. Capitals coming off their second straight loss. As I said, they missed a chance to move past the Pens. Pens looked terrible in that important game against the Oilers. God, it's Ovechkin. I think he'll be fine for the playoffs.
He skated today too. I don't know if he's in yet, but
he won't be in. I don't think. Do you? I don't think.
Apparently, well, if you look at Ronnie here, yeah, Washington's all in to try to get that number 3 spot from the Pens. Yeah.
I think it's I don't honestly know.
He's yet
the
to be.
The more I thought about it last night, Carolina with their strong team defense might be a tougher team to play than the Panthers, possibly. Panthers haven't done it before. Not that Carolina has, but I'm not sold on.
I look at coaches too. Who do I want, Brindamore or George Burnett? I'll take Brindy.
And then for the Caps, if they can get a chance to play the Rangers here, I mean, I don't see how you don't go after that opportunity. The Rangers are clearly, to me, the easier team than either of the wild card spots that are up. So yeah, I see why they should go for this. They should go all out for this. I agree. They should go all out.
The line should be minus 170. Honestly, for Washington, it should be way higher.
And Jeff Slaughter says that you're his favorite person from Belleville.
Oh, look at that, eh? I don't know how many you know, but hey, I'm riding with that. I got my pub sports sticker there. It's on my desk at work. So shout out to Jeff Slaughter, my guy.
So you got Washington regulation at plus 120. Brady says, I'm not betting this game either. Caps are such a veteran team. I just don't think they care. I just look at what they've been year over year. Books begging to take Caps. I'm just staying off. TJ says Rangers own the Caps, though. And there's Coactus in the house. It's my favorite mother-son capping team. Coactus is the mother, and she's such a great capper, and she's been with us.
Well, do you know where he got that name from? I always get flashbacks when we won the chip there, Jim, and that guy was carrying the Coactus in the streets, right?
Yeah. No, I love Coactus. She's great. Thank you for joining us, Coactus. And thank you so much for that, Dono. It means a ton to us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
I get it. I get why. I think that. I just think the Rangers, as you guys noted, the chat talked about their week 5-on-5 play. It just feels like they're much easier.
I can tell you.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Mike M says 91% cash on Caps is scary.
I can tell you what they're saying is the Islanders, Barry Trotz, they're saying they're hacking and coughing. They got some like COVID going around there right now. They got some type of bug going around. Someone got pulled there. I think it was Nelson. He got pulled right before game time because he was telling me like I wasn't feeling good or something. So they got some problems in the locker room right now. Apparently Barry Trotz is not. There's something going on outside of hockey with him that I was reading into a lot of articles, Jim. Yeah. So I think they're just trying to get out of here. I could even see Varlamov going because they got a back-to-back against Tampa Bay tomorrow. So I could see Varlamov going today. They got a back-to-back tomorrow, Washington against the Rangers. I like Vanacek going tonight. No confirmation on that yet, guys, but Vanacek against the Islanders too. He's 5-1, Jim, in his career. That's in 2 years. He's got a .941 save percentage, 1.74 goals against, and you got a depleted Islanders team. Everything to play for Washington. Revenge game. Like I could go on. This is my favorite play probably in the last month, in my opinion, to be honest. Yeah.
Wow.
To be honest. I think this line should be like -170.
Maybe it will end up there. And this is also what Richie Rich thought.
But yeah, he sent me a message too on Twitter, and we were both pretty gung-ho over this one.
Well, let's keep rolling. 7 p.m. Eastern, Tampa Bay Lightning 50, 22-8, 23, 14-2 on the road at the Columbus Blue Jackets, 36, 37-7, 20, 15-5 at home at Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Andrei Vasilevsky, Elvis Merzlikins was the plan. Vasilevsky 38-18-5, 2.46 goals against average, 917 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Merzlikins 26-22-7, 3.25 goals against average, 906 save percentage, 2 shutouts. When the Lightning play the Leafs, who do you think wins that series, Gogster?
I'd rather us play Boston, to be honest. Vasilevsky is the difference maker still. If that guy gets hot, Tampa could win because they got the better goalie. That's offense. Like Toronto's so much like Florida, really. They're so much like Florida, but I think Toronto actually does have the better defense. I think it's so tough, Jim. It's so tough. Right now, I probably actually I don't know. Toronto, Tampa would be a hell of a series.
You know, we all have our playoff pools coming up, and this is the most parity I've ever seen in my lifetime. Where the only 2 weak links that I see in the playoffs are the Predators without Saros and the Stars. They're the only 2 weak links. Everyone else is, and this is so. I've always wanted to do this, and I've seen it. It could have worked. There's a few years where it could have worked, and this year, everyone's going to be all over, the Avalanche and the Flames and things like that, and the teams who you can be almost certain that they'll get through the first round. I was thinking this would be the year to take the top scorers. If you don't have that early pick on one of those 2 teams, to take the highest scores on these other teams and get a bunch of them. I mean, if you could get, 6 different top scores on these weaker team or supposed weaker teams, get their number 1 score, it could be a really nice opportunity here. I just don't remember ever this much parity, but let's keep rolling here. The Lightning have flipped the switch. We talked about whether they were able to flip the switch. Well, they were, and they have. The 4-1 win over the Blue Jackets. I mean, who cares about that? But they've outscored their opposition 26-8 over their 4-game winning streak. They're up 3 points on the Bruins. They have 1 less regulation win than the Bruins, and they need, a win to clinch. Steven Stamkos, 100-point mark. That's the first time he's ever hit 100 points. God, too bad that the Leafs couldn't have picked him over Tavares.
That tells me, Jim, because he's had 50-goal seasons. He said this is his 4th 50-goal season. That just tells you he's finally getting some assists. He's getting some apples there. He just wasn't able to get any assists before. So Yeah.
Yeah, he talking about that. 7 goals, 14 assists in his last 7 games. Kucherov has 9 goals, 11 assists in those 7 games.
Yeah, they're getting. See, that's the thing. Whoever plays Tampa Bay is not the team you want. One thing you were saying about weak teams, Jim. I think Pittsburgh and Washington are both weak too. I think going into the playoffs, they're not gonna go too deep. They're just not playing solid. Even though I love Washington, I don't think they're gonna do well in the playoffs. Pittsburgh too. They've just looked very suspect against a stronger team. So with that being said, Tampa Bay, they're rolling. They're rolling. Cooper, they're like Boston in a way, but with much more talent. They're more not as old. I don't want to be hating on all the Boston fans there, but I just think Tampa Bay is a deadly team. Columbus here, they were 1-4-1 in their last 6. Coach is pretty, he pretty much said their last game they did everything they could. They're just Tampa Bay's better. Is pretty much what they said.
If the Lightning win in 5 in that series, or even 6 possibly, Keefe and Dubas are fired.
Oh, I hope to Christ they are, Jim, but I don't know.
I don't want to move on this game with such a big favorite.
Either do I.
And also, I'm not going to pick Lightning players in the playoff pool if they play the Leafs. Yeah, I'm not. I just think I do think that's going to be that if the Leafs were to step up for the first time, I wouldn't be surprised. Sure, if I had a free bet, I'd probably take the Lightning. But if the Leafs were to step up, if Austin Matthews was the best player on the ice and led them and put up, 8 goals in the series and carried them onto the next round, would you be surprised?
What if he gets hurt? I know it's a big what if.
Well, I mean, but yeah, of course, if any of their teams lose their best player, I mean, they're going to be in trouble. But let's keep rolling. And Ronnie says Penguins will get swept no matter who they play. Sullivan needs to trap and counterattack, and he refuses to do that. Still thinks it's 2017 when we were the fastest team in the league.
Yeah, they don't look good. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's keep rolling here. Are you making a move on Tampa Columbus?
No, I'm going to pass on this, buddy.
Columbus, I just despise the team that they put together when they were so close to being a good team and so tough to play against. Bjorkstrand's been okay and Roslovic's been okay. And as I said, Merzlikins has been better. 2.15 goals against average in his last 6. Okay, so let's move on. And Dennis thinks Toronto will beat Tampa in the first round. And Birdie says when the game becomes about power play and penalty killing and defense, Leafs fail. Their power play is not good. They don't play good defense, and they have 0 leadership. Nothing has changed the last 3 years. Tampa Bay or Boston win. I mean, they have the number 1 power play statistically in the league. Right, they're now ahead of the Oilers. So hard to say that their power play is not good. But
for me, it's just the goaltending, Jim. I just don't know how far you can get with the goalie situation in Toronto. That's the only problem.
And Dennis is going to take Pittsburgh or Washington to beat Florida in the first round.
Like I'm relying on Campbell to look like he did for those month and a half in November to December when he was leading the league in goals against. But since then, it's been so long.
Well, let's keep rocking. We have so much MLB to get into, so I'm just going to push us forward here. Next up, Calgary Flames, Minnesota Wild. So it was mentioned in the chat. Was it Sammy Comer? One of us mentioned, how do we not hammer the Minnesota Wild right now? And the game against Nashville, that really meant nothing to Calgary, showed the kind of team that they are with Sutter coaching them. And it's a scary, scary hockey team. So Milan Lucic called this game, this meaningless game for the Flames. He said, I played over 1,000 games now, and that's a top 5 game that I've been a part of. The goals, the hits, the fights, the emotions, the crowds. Yeah, and if the Flames are going to give you that in a meaningless game, good God. And I hate, I despise the Flames, and it's Daryl Sutter. So he was having these constant meetings saying we have to prevent, he needing to prevent the team from coasting down the stretch, and they're 10-1-1. They're 7-0-1 on the road going back to March 19th. So look, they're not sitting anybody. They're a fucking juggernaut, and them scoring that goal with 0.1 seconds left. I mean, that it was like. It just ripped my heart out of my chest. And having Tkachuk do it, who puts up 100 points, and the Canucks could have picked him in the fifth overall pick, but they picked Olli Juolevi. It made me want to, I had to leave. I had to leave my apartment so I wouldn't take it out, on my girlfriend. I had to go for a walk, and Oh, I didn't leave until the overtime goal slipped through. But like when Riddick came in, I was like, oh, this. I just like I'm getting so fucking angry just talking about it. But I should have known that they shouldn't be faded. The Wild had their 5-game winning streak snapped, a 5-3 loss at home to Arizona. What are you going to get from this Wild team? Now, we talked about the amount of injuries they have. They just need to get healthy. Getting healthy is more important than I don't know. If it's actually
it's a huge game for Minnesota, Jim. Big one.
Yeah, so they finished the regular season Friday at home against the Avalanche. The Blues only have 1 game left, and the Avalanche are going to rest players, and Landeskog is not coming back in the regular season. So
that's not good.
What are you doing here?
So Minnesota's got home ice if they win this. They got second place locked up from what I'm seeing here if they can win this one. So this is a huge game for Minnesota. I got to ride Minnesota here, guys. First period and full game. It's the first time, too, guys. Calgary's been a dog in over a month. So that tells you kind of people they think Minnesota's going to – it's just such an important game.
Just winning this game does not they'll if the Blues win against Vegas, who's not going to try, the Blues have more regulation wins. So if it's tied, the Blues have home ice. So
I got 51 wins for the Wild, 49 for the Blues. So I think I'm just the beat writers, guys. From what I'm seeing there, the Wild, they'll secure second place if they can get this one. So Jimmy, I got to ride with first period on the money line and the Minnesota money line. Minus 120. I got the full game, guys, and I also got the first period at minus 118.
No, the Blues have way more regulation wins than the Wild. So the Blues have 43 regulation wins. The Wild only have 36. So that's wrong.
Sorry, Jim.
It's all good.
You won there. Sorry.
No, it's all good. So that's the case. So the Wild, if the Wild win this, the Wild need. We have to think that the Blues are going to beat the Golden Knights, and that we should make that bet on the Blues to beat the Golden Knights as soon as it's available.
Yeah.
As soon as that becomes available, we should make that bet because they'll want to put pressure on the Wild here.
Yeah.
So everybody keep that in mind. As soon as that line comes out tomorrow to bet the Blues.
Yeah, it's home ice.
Yeah, so as soon as it comes out, bet the Blues. But I'm not taking away the fact you're right. The Wild need to win this game. So
and Arizona, they were up in that game too, and they fell apart. So I got to rock with Minnesota here, Jim.
So what did you do here? I did retweet you were on the Wild first period minus 118, the Wild money line minus 120.
Yeah, I got it. I'm trusting it. It's a good hockey team. The line too being minus 120, first time they've been a dog. Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna rock with them.
I learned my lesson. So about the Flames, but I get it. I get your look. Let's move on to 9 p.m. Eastern. Nashville Predators at Colorado Avalanche. Riddick now the goaltender for the Predators, but the Avs don't care. Riddick is so bad. Maybe Connor Ingram comes in here. I don't know what the Predators are going to do if Saros can't go. The Avalanche snapped their 4-game losing streak with a 5-3 win at home over St. Louis on Tuesday. I mean, even they want Rantanen just to. I don't know what they're going to do with Rantanen. These non-COVID illnesses. I don't know why Hishier's back and why it's taking Rantanen so long to come back. I don't know. I don't get it. So
yeah.
But with the Avs, they're probably going to beat the Predators, but I don't want them at this number. Are you moving on this one?
So this is my tie-in with the Carolina game, moneyline parlay, Jim. I'm going to add Colorado to it, buddy. Minus 117 is going to be what I got on that. So killing the juice on both teams. It can go to overtime, don't matter. Just fading Rittich here, Jim. Also, they're just not playing good hockey right now. Their power play, though, is 5th in the league, so their power play is not too bad. But ever since Taves came back to that last game with Devon Taves, they looked really good getting that W. So I think this is a nice and also one other thing, it's a fan appreciation night. So a fan appreciation night, you got to think they're going to put in their best effort, right? So give me the money line parlay with Carolina, guys, minus 117.
I get it. It makes sense. Let's move on to 9 p.m. Eastern. So we have just 2 games left, and then we'll go into MLB. So we're going to beat our time frame plan. Next up, And Brady says this game means nothing. Both teams just roll lines. I would take the Avs because their 12 forwards are better than the Preds 12 forwards, but they're just going to be rolling the lines. Richie Rich looking at the over 6.5. Abel is on the Avalanche puck line. LJ from H-Town says, can we trust Colorado -1.5 tonight? I'm not. Nate Dogg leaning to the over 6.5.
Yeah, that's why I'm locking in with the money line parlay there, LJ. I think Carolina, meaningful game for them.
So I moved on the Sharks at +270. Look, I despise this hockey team, but it's now +245. The Oilers have absolutely nothing to play for. Will they play McDavid, who's got 122 points already this year? Your guess is as good as mine. Would you play McDavid? I don't know if I would. Sharks had their 2-game winning streak snapped, a 5-2 loss at home to the Ducks on Tuesday. San Jose 3-8-4 since March 30th. Erik Karlsson not coming back. What has happened to Erik Karlsson? I mean, it's just this guy was a Norris Trophy winner, and look at Doug Wilson signs him for an 8-year, $92 million contract. So this is just the third year. He's got 5 more years at this price. Doug Wilson, whom I loved as a defenseman for the Blackhawks, maybe you should have worn a helmet. And it's a good thing that you're riding off into the sunset now. You fucking ruined this Sharks franchise with your boneheaded, terrible fucking decisions. Good thing I'm not a Sharks fan, or I'd have you on the ski mask list. You're not on it. Luckily enough, Doug Wilson. I'm happy that you ruined this fucking franchise. The only guy I liked on this franchise, I love, was Igor Larionov and Johan Garpenlov. Oilers come off a big 5-1 win at Pittsburgh on Tuesday to clinch home ice advantage. It was impressive. Made Pittsburgh look so bad. I don't know why I'm so angry. I'm just angry. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm just
hockey. It's just a hockey talk, man. It's all right. Let's go.
Evander Kane has 6 goals in a 4-game run, 10 points in the last 6 games. So I moved on the Sharks at +270. What's your move?
Your bet's as good as mine. You know they are 16-21 in their last 6. They've won 16 of the last 21. Edmonton. It's not a meaningful game though. I have written down here for Edmonton. So it's just tough. You know they're coming off a 10-game losing streak in April. I have here San Jose, one of their longest losing streaks of the year. Very tough strength of schedule, though. They played a lot of playoff teams in that in between then. So it's tough. You know what I do, Jim? I'd wait to see the Oilers lineup. If you guys can see what the confirmation is going to be on the Oilers lineup, check those beat writers, guys. Even the Twitter, Oilers Twitter, just to see who's going to be playing, because I think that's big. Because if there's no McDavid, even Draisaitl, if they do end up resting some guys, I think it is a good spot for the Sharks, Jim.
I think I know why I'm so angry. I was so flustered. I need 10 hours to cap the MLB card. And I was so flustered all week just trying to get in enough. And it doesn't matter how many hours I put in the night before. And then I come in and I didn't even bring my fucking coffee. I think that's pretty much why I may be so angry. So let's go on.
I can roll with it.
I think I'm going to grab it when you do a review of your action. Okay. I'm with Birdie. I think this is the next bet I like the Senators bet a lot, but I think this is probably the best bet on the board. And that's the Vancouver Canucks -1.5. Yeah. I got it at +190. It's now at +170. And that's a pretty big move for a puck line too. The Canucks, when I bet the puck line, the Canucks were -125. They're now -155. My whole thought here, no, Nate Dogg, Edmonton's playing for nothing. They have clinched home ice because of that giant win in Pittsburgh. They have nothing to play for whatsoever.
Yeah.
And they're flying back from Pittsburgh, like Ronnie's saying, cross-country trip.
Yeah, they just got to hammer it on the plane.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks, Sean. I don't know why I'm just like, I am angry for some reason. It was yesterday. I don't know how I ended up 5-5.
In what? In all sports, Jim? Or?
Yeah, in all sports. It just felt like I was going to have a much better day than that. And I thought I was going to have this huge day in MLB, and then ended up 3-3-3. What the fuck is that?
We'll get it back.
I think the Canucks is the best spot here on the board. I really do. I don't know. My whole thought was, who's going to get on the plane? Would you want to bring these guys up into Canada here? I think some guys should have been flown back to America, or back to LA. Sorry, not America, but from Seattle. Like, I was like, is everybody going to fly up to Vancouver? I wouldn't fly everybody up to Vancouver.
It's their last game of the year, too.
Last game of the season. It means couldn't mean less to the Kings. And the Canucks, with Brucey Boudreau back there and JT Miller 3 points away from a hundo, they're going to be playing. They're going to be playing, and they're going to fight, and they're going to, I find this very similar to the Canucks smashing the Kraken. That was so easy. I think this is the easiest bet on the board here. And Spencer Martin looks like he's going to be between the pipes again. I was surprised to see him going in again, but he's been great. Kings on the second half back-to-back. They win 5-3. Here, who wins the series between the Kings and the Oilers? Because I think that's a series where I will bet the LA Kings on the money line every game.
Oh God. See, I think LA's kind of weak. Like it's tough. Like I don't know if they have the most experience. Like they're a completely different team from that 2015 team they won. But Edmonton, they're like Toronto. They choke so much in the playoffs. So this Vancouver LA game though, Jim, I completely agree. I'm all over Vancouver. Also, it's the old school jersey tonight, Jim. They're going back to the old school black skate uni. So you're going to see the black and yellow tonight, which is good to see. They seem to always play well in those jerseys too. LA is going to go with the all white from the Gretzky days. So yeah, there's not much to play for. Look ahead. But they said that, you know what, Jim, I have here full roster. Apparently LA is still going to be rolling with a full roster. What the coaches, beat writers are saying, yeah, they still want to play a full roster. So that's the notes I have here from
the market. I mean, the market's telling us they're not. So
yeah, it opened like they were like that. I would have thought this line would be a little higher for Vancouver, being nothing for LA. Yeah. What?
Oh, I'm speaking loud. Okay. So look, I'm not adding anything to this card except maybe the Capitals. It's going to be time to hammer this MLB card. And I'm going to go get my coffee. So this is give your review of your looks, but this is me yesterday. And I bet it about, 6:00 last night. I got the Sabres plus 270. They're right now at plus 260. So it wasn't a big beat there. I'm on the Senators at plus 220. They're now at plus 175. I'm on the Devils at plus 270. They're now at plus 190. That was a nice one. I'm at the Sharks at plus 270. They're at plus 245. And I'm on the Canucks minus 1.5 plus 190. That's at plus 170. Review your action, and I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Oh, my guy, Jose.
Oh, shit.
Hello, Gogster.
Hey, what's going on, Jose? How you doing there, Terry? How you doing, Sawcheck?
I'm doing well. By the way, just want to let everyone know that I'm officially rolling with you on Ottawa first period, Ottawa full game. I took them plus 180 for the full game. Line obviously dropping like a motherfucker, so get in now while you still can.
Yeah.
And first period money line plus 150. So rolling with you. What else you have?
Go, Sens, go. Come on, go, Sens, go. Go, Sens. Yeah, so we're rooting for the set. I really like Washington, brother. I think Washington Capitals are a great spot. Regulation, little plus money over the Islanders. Revenge factor, something to play for. Coach was pissed off. I'm just reading a lot of articles saying that this means something to them. And the Islanders, on the other hand, are battling COVID. The coach is saying they're hacking and coughing. They're just going to battle through this last game. So Islanders have already packed it in.
This is how my man Zdeno Chara is going to go out?
Yeah, well, Zdeno's probably got something waiting for him back. He's in New York. He's living good.
Well, he's going to sign a 1 day for Boston, retire and get a statue like the king he is.
And he's going to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame up in Toronto, Canada, as he deserves to be. So
third favorite hockey player all time, Big Chara is.
Yeah. But let me do a quick review here, guys. So I got Capitals in regulation plus 120. I'm also rocking with a moneyline parlay, Carolina and Colorado minus 117. I got Ottawa first period, like Jose said, and moneyline 160, 210, and first period Minnesota and moneyline, rocking with the Wild to come back in a strong performance here to hopefully get that second seed against St. Louis. So. And also don't forget, St. Louis is playing, as Jimmy said, Vegas tomorrow, I believe it is. So jump all over St. Louis when that line comes out because it'd be a very meaningful game. So, that's all I got, Jimmy. And I'm also on Vancouver money line with you. Almost forgot. Minus 121. I got it overnight.
Oh, that's a great line. Great job. And what did you make official, Jose?
I'm riding with Ottawa with you guys. First period, full game, plus 180, full game, plus 150, first period.
He's a Senator.
Go, Sens, go.
Go, Sens, go. Yeah,
go. All right, let's get it. That was the fucking weakest Go Sens go ever in my life.
That's what we sound like in Belleville. Come on.
All right, great work, Gogster. Get that cash. Stay hot, my man. And excited that Jose's back in action in NHL. We are moving on to MLB. Tons of afternoon action. Follow Mr. Gogster at EG_47. Is that right? I don't want to mess that up. I have retweeted here.
By the way, I'll be excited to figure out if I am a winning NHL capper soon.
Yes, I'll go over the NHL ones. Just the NHL
It'll
ones.
be very exciting because I do believe there were consequences if I was a losing NHL capper. I don't remember what those were, but I have a feeling if I hit these two bets, then I will officially be a winning NHL capper. So big deal for me, these games. Big deal.
Well, go get that cash. This is a Gogster's Twitter handle. All right, let's get into MLB right now. We have just the man for the job. Sorry, I need to move my camera a little bit. He is the star of our MLB Prize Picks show every day at 3:10 p.m. Eastern, 12:10 p.m. Pacific. Please welcome to the show, back in action, Sharpie's Bets in the house. Sharpie, how are you?
Man, we're good. We just got the first bong load in because we had to wake up fucking early. My eyes weren't fucking looking at the screen last night, bro. I'd be looking at the cap, and I was just like, I'm like, fucking set the alarm for 5 and let's go.
Yeah, it helps. I love I always think clear in the morning, so I completely get that look. Yesterday's day for me was just so irritating. I started off with the loser with Mets -1. Of course, they're up 4-0 and they fall apart. Then the Rays -1. I expected that to cash, and it pushed. KC, Chicago, White Sox, first 5 under 3.5 cashed. Then too bad, first 5 under 4.5 with Houston, Texas, and Cleveland, LA. Really, the bad big that was associated with both bets. Diamondbacks, first 5 plus a half cashed. LA Dodgers, Arizona, first 5 under 4 cashed. And then Pirates, first 5, and Red Sox, first 5 both pushed. And that made me extremely upset. The capping was sound. The betting was poor. Let's get to work here, Sharpie. And we start at 12:35 p.m. Eastern with Milwaukee Brewers 12-7, 7-4 on the road at the Pittsburgh Pirates, 8-10, 4-4 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the market wasn't moving towards the Brewers. And, I would like, the market to move towards the Brewers. And in this case, it wasn't. The Brewers opened up at -170, and they were down -160, so there'd been a 10-cent move towards the Pirates. But I just took that as people afraid of Freddie Peralta. They're looking at his ERA and his WHIP and things of that nature, and I expect Peralta to heat up now. I thought it was a nice performance against the Phillies, who have bats. He went 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 2 walks. And Quintana, I don't trust. I don't care if he's had an okay start to the season. I don't trust him whatsoever. And look, I know the Brewers don't hit lefties, so this is a nice opportunity for Quintana, but I'm just not interested here. Quintana or the Brewers 186, 585 OPS versus lefties. Pirates versus righties 224, 628 OPS. Sean Thompson bet the Pirates at +136. I've not touched the Brewers in this whole series, but I just think that I'm now getting a beautiful price on Freddie Peralta because of his bad start. Maybe this is wrong, but I'm on the Brewers first 5 minus a half at -120. I'm on the Brewers full game -1 at -132. Let's just take a quick look at the weather and then hand it over to Sharpie. It's 44 Fahrenheit, 7 miles per hour out to right field. It moves up to 8 by the end of the game. We already talked about the 10-cent move towards the Pirates on money line perspective at Bet365. From a total look, it just moved to 7 21 minutes ago. So it went from 7.5 down to 7 21 minutes ago. And then when we head over to the cash flow in this game, we have 74% of the tickets and 67% of the cash on Milwaukee. And then 48% of the tickets, 72% of cash on the under. So the market expecting the Brewers to continue to struggle versus lefties and Peralta to have a nice performance. And I expect Peralta to have a nice performance and these shit lefty bats to get to Quintana enough to cash here. Take it away, Sharpie. First game on the board, Brewers, Pirates.
We kind of see eye to eye right here, my guy, and I like that. Freddie Peralta. He looked good, like you said last time out. And he's going against the Pirates team, 13th walk percentage, 9th in the 9%, 5th K percentage at 27. Guys, they're striking out way too much versus the right-handed side. That's going to help Freddie Peralta today. He was 1-1 with a 2.74 in 4 appearances versus the Pirates last year. His loss, he still went 6 innings and gave up 2 runs in that loss. So this guy likes the Pittsburgh Pirates, pitches well versus the Pirates, and he's coming in fucking hot. Like you said, Jose Quintana, okay, so he's been somewhat good. This guy last year threw 70% balls, 30% strikes. Like, nah, he don't belong in the fucking league. And yes, like you said, Brewers don't hit lefties. Well, Washington ain't hitting lefties either, and they put up 2 runs off Quintana too. So I see at least 2 runs coming from Quintana. And I haven't bet it yet. Lean is Milwaukee first 5 -0.5. You already bet that. I can't take him full game today because I don't think Hader's available. Hader pitched back-to-back days, had a day off, and pitched 26 pitches yesterday. I'm not trying to take Milwaukee without Hader. I'm just a big Hader backer myself. So big difference in bullpen. You got Milwaukee should still be able to handle it with Boxberger and Williams. But without Hader back there, I'm not looking at him full game. Heavy lean on the first 5 -1/2. Haven't bet it yet, but it might end up on there. I've already got 3 bets, so that's a lot for me. Like 4 is going to be the most I've had all fucking year, so I'm trying to keep it off of 4.
That makes sense. Whatever you are doing, it's been working. You're running hot right now, so keep it going. That's the first game on the board. Brewers first 5 -1/2. Brewers full game -1 are both bet for me already. Next game on the board, 12:35 p.m. Eastern. San Diego Padres 12-7, 6-3 on the road at the Cincinnati Reds, 3-15, 1-6 at home at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's open up with the weather. 57 Fahrenheit, 7.9 miles per hour in, and it warms up a little bit, and the wind cools about a mile, so it goes down to about 6.6 or 7.1 throughout the game, and it's just getting worse. The snowball effect. The fans are angry. Everybody's angry. And it's just an awful situation here in Cincinnati. Nice to have Noli Knows in the chat as well. We got Good ready to get to work. Kyle Hintley and Gary Tenebra. Great to see all of you guys. TJ says, got the pods, Friars at plus money this morning. Love seeing the line swing. So let's talk about this line swing here and then talk about where the cash is and then touch on it briefly and hand it over to Sharpie here. The Padres have not swung at all really at Bet365. There was an initial 10-cent move to the Reds that brought the Padres to -105. That was at 7:43 this morning. And then money's come back in on the Padres. So the Padres are what they opened at Bet365. Bet365 opened this up at 5:06 p.m. yesterday, -115. And that's where it is again right now, -115. This total opened up at 8.5 and an hour and a half ago moved to 8. That's the situation. We have cash-wise here in this spot. We have 16,278 tickets in. So this is the highest sample size of any of these day games. And Sports Insights has 2 teams with full, in their perception here, Sports Insights has line value on 2 teams, full. And that's the Baltimore Orioles and Bruce Zimmerman, whom I'm on first 5. And
That's your boy, Jimmy. Zimmerman's your fucking boy, bro.
He's becoming my boy. He's becoming Jose should take note. This is the 5th pitcher of the starting rotation. And then Molly and the Reds have full line value. They have 32% of the tickets, 45% of the cash, 52% of tickets on the under, and 44% of the cash is on that under. And this is going to be interesting. Nick Martinez didn't look great in his last start. Neither of these pitchers looked great, and they both started at home. Nick Martinez went 4 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. There were solo shots, 4 Ks, 5 walks, 6-1 loss at home to the Dodgers. No harm in getting hit by the Dodgers. They smash righties. And now Martinez has a 1.77 whip, 10 walks in 14 2/3. Molly got hit hard at home versus the Cardinals. 4 1/3, 5 hits. Maybe I take that back. 2 earned runs. No homers, 3 Ks, 3 walks. But the Cardinals don't hit righties and got to Molly. And now Molly's whip is at 1.71 in 17 innings, 9 walks, and a lot of hits against them. The Reds don't hit righties, 193, 585 OPS, and the Padres don't either, 226, 61 OPS. Franco White on no-run first inning on this game. Carlitos Way says Reds are 0-11 against the run line versus the West. Wow. Take it away here, Sharpie, Padres, Reds.
Man, I have a pretty good fucking take on this Nick Martinez, man. A lot of people think they fucking know something or something. Man, I live in San Diego, so I fucking read newspapers. And just shout out to Noli. If you ain't reading newspapers, you're missing out on a lot of information, guys. So go dig into your local Union Tribune and read up on some of these guys, okay? Nick Martinez was paid $25 million for a 4-year contract after being a bum and going to Japan and fixing some things. He is not a hard thrower, guys. He throws 4 pitches with accuracy, okay? So he's a soft tosser, and his problem's been his whip. The Reds fucking walk bottom of the league 7.8% of the time, guys. They're bottom fucking 30th average, 30th OPS. Do I want to back Nick Martinez here? I have fucking traps and setup plans, guys, and teams getting swept. Bad teams get swept 10% of the time on the year, guys. It's just baseball. Reds have been swept 3 out of 5 times, bro. The odds are going to start fucking coming back. And I'm not trying to run head up against some fucking odds that's been there for the last 20 fucking years saying that bad teams get swept 10% of the time. So Malle, yes, is worse at home last year, worse during day games last year. I could see all that. But the Padres ain't fucking hitting. We've got cold fucking weather. So I'm on the under first 5, 4.5 minus 120. I think I get a solid game from Nick Martinez, and I think I get a decent game from Malle. Do I lean Padres first 5? Yes, but I just think I could have a 2-2 game at worst and cash me by a half.
Yeah, that all makes sense. That all makes a ton of
going
sense.
into bullpen wise, they're pretty much same ERA. Reds have blown every fucking save chance they've had. They're 0-3, and the Padres are 6 out of 9 in save chances. All 6 have no blown since Rogers has been there. So their pin's been good at the back end since Rogers has came. Cincinnati hasn't closed out a fucking game this year.
That makes sense. So is this your first official action here on the board?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let's lock that in. Did you tweet any of this out, or is this my line shopping right now?
So you could line shop it for the show, but I mean, I put it in for like the few people in my Discord, Noli, and then me and Noli break all shit every fucking morning, and we put our plays out in there, and then I repost them if you retweet my shit on Twitter. If you don't retweet my shit, then you don't get my plays. The people that retweet it get my plays. Man, gotta help me out if you want to make some money.
I respect that. All right, let's lock it in for you here. The first 5 under 4.5. Let's see what we can give you. The first 5 under 4.5 is it's expensive here.
It moved, huh? Because you said it went from 8.5 to 8.
Yes. Let me see
if it moved to a 4, then just let it go right now. I'll just not fuck it for the show. I bet it personally at 4.5.
Yeah, because that 4.5 right now is at minus 134 at Pinnacle, minus 130 at Bet 365. I'd be curious to see what it is here at Circa and see if maybe they can give us a little bit better. And no, they're at 4 too. So we're gonna let that one go at this point.
Yeah. 4 is where I see it at and where it should have been at, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think it was a nice look here. A nice look with the cold weather. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. 1-0. So those are the 2 12-30 games. So both of those games pop off in 30 minutes. I'm on the Brewers first 5 minus half, full game -1 for the Brewers. And Sharpie has bet the first 5 under 4.5, but it won't be used for record keeping purposes here on the show. Astute Chaos, copy and paste your NBA action here. We have Dutch Boy
shit
Fresh.
moved on Bovada the whole half. Damn, It's already almost minus 115 to the under. It's pick 'em.
Wow.
Woo!
All right, so heavy heat on the under. Let's move on to 1:05 p.m. Eastern. I've moved on Bruce Zimmerman and the Orioles, and you know this really hurt. I'm going to do this for a little while and maybe abandon it, but it's the games where I think there's less volatility and they're going to be lower scoring games. And then I know that TJ and Loshak do this as well. I take the first 5 plus a half if it's still plus money or no worse than minus 115. Now, it hurt me yesterday because I had the Diamondbacks. Now, the Diamondbacks got to run the bottom of the 5th, but I had the Diamondbacks plus a half. I didn't do it with the Pirates because it was minus 120 for me if I wanted the Pirates first 5 plus a half. And then, of course, I needed it because it was 0-0 after 5 in that game. But I did it here. I took the Orioles first 5 plus a half plus 110, which is pretty expensive. And, I could have got them, I believe, at plus 175 on the first 5. A money line. We're in Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Orioles still struggling, and they're getting pitching. Last year they got hitting. They haven't got that this year. They're hitting just 200, 588 OPS versus righties. And so, and Viper saying it's not a bad look, but it's not worth the heartache. Yeah, I hear that. Cash Action Bets is on Baltimore. Mad Stoney, thank you for joining us. Kyle Hintley, and I'm on the Brewers first 5 minus half and full game -1. And I haven't bet the Brewers in the series yet, so it's not a bias from what's happened over the last couple of days. I just think that we're getting a really nice price on Peralta, who's a much better pitcher than I think the market is giving him credit for at this point. Eric Jones is on the first 5 under 4 here. Let's start with the weather in the Bronx. We have the first pitch, 52 Fahrenheit, and it's blowing very hard, but left to right, very, very slightly out, but it's 18.9 miles per hour left to right, goes up to 19.3. It gets a little warmer, a tiny bit warmer from 52 to 55 as the game goes on. When we look at the market move in the Orioles-Yankees game, we have the Orioles opening up at plus 190. They initially went up to plus 200, and then at 3 in the morning, there was a big 15-cent move back on the Orioles to plus 185, and then at 10:05 this morning, they went back to plus 195. So it's since the opening line, there's been a 5-cent move towards the Yanks. The under opened at 8 and minus 115, and the over got hit hard at 8:40 this morning. It got up to minus 125 to the over, and then an hour and 20 minutes ago, it moved back to a pick'em. So a 15-cent move. There's Schnizzle in the house. Great to see you. Big Ragu also rolling with us. Carlitos Way says both pitchers are 3-0 for no run first inning. Let's see where the cash lies in this spot. And I already told you that Sports Insights has full value here for the Baltimore Orioles. 24% of the tickets, 35% of the cash, and then 54% of the tickets, 53% cash on the under. I have fallen for Bruce Zimmerman. His last start, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 1 homer, 6 Ks, 1 walk, and a 5-3 win at the Angels. And the Angels are raking. They're raking lefties. They're raking righties. Tyon, 3.07 ERA, 1.09 whip, 13 Ks and 1 walk, 3 homers. Is he back to that superstar we thought the Pittsburgh Pirates drafted first overall? I think he was first overall. I don't have it in front of me. Last start, he went 5 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 5 Ks, no walks, and a 4-1 win at home versus the Guardians. Yankees are hitting 238, 762 OPS versus lefties, which did give me pause. I did cut this down to a 5-inning game. Take it away here. Sharpie O's Yankees.
This one right here, my theory on games where teams face the same pitcher within the last 2 weeks, it's either over or fucking pass for me, unless they showed me something else. Well, the other day, when it was Berrios and Eovaldi, they have a track record of showing me something else. They both went 4 games last year on back-to-backs and were better each fucking time. That's, to me, is bet the fuck on. I don't have back-to-backs on Zimmerman from last year, and I don't have within a 15-day period on Tyon. They've only seen one team like that last year, and that's just not enough evidence for me. Both these teams not fucking hitting, though. Let's just get to that, too. Zimmerman's been dominant. Tyon's been dominant. So I got to just think that it's an under full game. Shout out to Noli, man. He just bangs these unders, and he got off the overs at the right time, too. He was like, yeah, you got to ride the unders while it's hot. And he goes, they're going to start hitting. And he got off at the right time, but he's like, nah, we're back on it, Sharpie. And I'm like, yeah, have fun, bro. I can't do it when it's fading 2 pitchers, but 2 different cappers don't mean it's a wrong bet. It's just I have my own rules and people have theirs. But I think it's a Zimmerman spot myself. I just don't like to back a pitcher 2 times within the same 2-week period once he's running into him.
Yeah, I can understand. It's sort of the same with me in NBA. Whenever I go back the following day to the same action, and my ROI is just atrocious. Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. Great to see you in the chat. He'll be joining us for NBA today, and just a record. And I call it otherworldly because that's what it is. He's 49 and 26 on the show, 65.3% plus 21.68 units, ROI plus 28.91%, average line minus 105, and Dutchy here with us every Thursday. So I get it. So you decided to stay off. If you had a free play on a side here, first 5 or full game, what would it have been?
I'd have to take Yankees first 5, bro. The fucking Orioles aren't hitting. Orioles are not fucking hitting. They're bottom of the fucking league hitting, bro. Period. Like, they're bad.
Brucey baby needs Zimmerman to step up for me. I'm on the Orioles first 5 plus a half at plus 110. Those are the only
that plus half might come in handy, because they're not hitting. It could be 1-1. Like, yeah, fuck.
Expecting low volatility for sure in this spot. We have lineup set for the O's: Mullen, Santander, Mancini, Hayes, Rougned, Odor, Mateo, McKenna, Bemboom, and Gutierrez. For the Yankees: LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, Gallo, Locastro, Gonzalez, and Higashioka behind the plate.
It is moving day to day, so I did expect to see some salty ass lineups. But now with the DH, dude, I don't think the lineups are going to be too off on moving days.
Yeah, CT Base has got a pass. Wish this was at Camden, he says. Okay.
He'd be on the over.
Yeah. There's Razor Sharp picks in the house. By the way, next Friday, so I'll be on with Razor tomorrow, but next Friday, Cash at Fridays is all day for the Kentucky Oaks. So Cash at Friday starts at 10:30 in the morning, or even earlier, because first race, it's 48 hours of straight horse racing for us, nonstop horse racing on Pub Sports Radio, starting next Friday, May 6th, and Saturday, May 7th. Let's move on to the next spot on the board, 1:05 p.m. Eastern. Colorado Rockies at Philadelphia Phillies. These Rockies 4-4 on the road. Phillies 7-5 at home. We're at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's go into the weather here first and foremost. 52 Fahrenheit and 17.9 mile per hour wind coming in. And it stays that way all game. It does get a little bit warmer, but the wind is blowing in, and it's blowing in heavy. Let's look at the line history here in this spot with Gomber and Wheeler. I can't wait to hear your breakdown of Zach Wheeler. And what was...
Got a good one on him. I dug deep on that bastard.
I when I was looking at Wheeler, I was like, oh, I know Sharpie's going to have fun with this. The Colorado Rockies open up at plus 170. They keep going back and forth to 175 to 170. So there keeps being 10-cent moves to the Phillies, 5-cent moves to the Rockies throughout the day. So they're sitting 5 cents different than they were. Rockies opened up plus 170. They're now plus 175. This total opened up at 7.5, and at 10:43 a.m. it dropped to 7, juice to the over. But that's where it stands right now. When we go over to the cash flow in this Rockies-Phillies spot, we have 12,231 tickets in, and 38% of the tickets are on the Rockies and 75% of the cash. An expectation that Wheeler gets touched again, I'm guessing, because 57% of tickets and 64% of cash are on the over, even though the wind is blowing in. This one is tough. Gomber, 1-1, 4.20 ERA, 1.47 whip, 15 innings, 14 K, 6 walks, 1 homer. His last start was beautiful. It was at the Tigers. They won 3-2. He went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, no runs, 8 Ks, and 0 walks. Zach Wheeler coming off a 5-3 loss at the Brewers, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 Ks, no walks. 1.66 whip, 0-3, 8.53 ERA. The Rockies are hitting righties hard, 247, 740 OPS, but the Phillies have just taken off or jumped exactly where they were from last year. 270, 809 OPS versus lefties. They smashed lefties last year. They're smashing lefties here again. Take it away here. I can't wait to hear this breakdown. Gomber, Wheeler, Rockies, Phillies.
Phillies versus lefty, man. That's been give me a pitcher I like, and I'm banking them. And I wrote him versus fucking Rogers and got plus money, and they racked him for 8 runs. And Rogers has been pretty good, but we'll get into him later on. He ain't been that good this year, but yeah. Gomber guy sucks. He's a fucking lefty, and last year's splits 2 home, 6 on the road. He's on the road. Now this fucking wind coming in does scare me. And I'm probably going to be looking at the hits, runs, errors over in this spot, guys, because I don't like to take overs with the wind blowing in like that when I expect the hits to be there and I expect it to go over, but I'm afraid of the wind. That's when I go hits, runs, errors. So I'm going to have to look up what the hits, runs, errors is on this. But I think Gomber gets touched today, and Wheeler, on the other hand, this is why the money's going to come where I thought the money would come on Wheeler, but it's not. He's better at home last year. He's better during the day by 2 runs last year. And I get into this because I'm thinking, oh, this is a smash spot. Phillies run line here, dude. I'm going to eat. And then I get into fucking Wheeler, guys. He's got an 8 ERA, but that shit will come down to his .372 BABIP. You can't chalk it up, though, to bad luck, as his 17.9% K rate and his 7.9 swing and miss rate are drastically fucking down from last year. Take into account his velocity has dropped 2 miles per hour. This guy just isn't the same fucking pitcher, and the numbers behind the numbers are saying it too. So he's a fade right now, guys. So I'm looking at that hits, runs, and errors. Both of these bullpens, worst 2 ERA-wise in the fucking league. So I think they both get touched and handed over to a bullpen that's going to get touched.
Very interesting. Billy Friedrich found hits, runs, and errors over 23.5 at plus 115 at Bookmaker.
Love every bit of it.
Is that what you want to make official here?
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to go on Bovada and probably bet it at a worse number.
Okay, but we would do just for our record keeping purposes. Want to give you the best
yes,
line
I
available.
want that play. Yes.
Okay, cool.
When I already wanted the over, but the win scared me, and that's the play I run when it's over. When the win scares me.
And also, RotoWire has it left to right, and I guess we got to figure out what sites we trust the most. When RotoWire gives us the left to rights, right lefts, they don't say it's slightly in, but it's more than slightly in here from Swish Analytics. It's coming in. It's knocking.
I'm gonna watch the game today, and I will message you where the fuck the wind is going, and we'll know which one's working.
We have Sharpie on the board. Hits, runs, and errors. He's locked in over 23.5 at plus 115 at Bookmaker. And Chief said I looked in depth into these pitchers, found the first inning to be shaky, but then they settled down in the following innings. And Big Ragu's on the over. Says hits are hits. And TJ says bad defense, lots of hard contact against these guys. Over 7 is a play. Same confidence I had in the New York Mets St. Louis over yesterday. Let's just go back to this. Here we have 56% ticket, 63% of cash on the over, and yet this total has dropped, and it dropped 30 minutes ago from 7.5 to 7. And we have, Wheeler at home, which you would think if you're a good pitcher with a history of success and you're not right, you come back home and maybe you figure it out. But I can completely understand the looks on the over. Big Ragu on the over. Sharpie on the over, hits, runs, and errors. And TJ on the over as well. And no move for me at this point. All right, let's move on to 1:05 p.m. Eastern. Miami Marlins 9-8, 5-5 on the road to the Washington Nationals. 6-14, 3-10 at home. We're at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. We'll start with the weather in this spot. We have 12.8 miles per hour in. Again, it's a similar angle as the Rockies Phillies game. So I imagine RotoWire will say left to right, and they do. That's just not enough info, I think, from RotoWire. But, man, obviously all these sites have to be tested. And don't forget, we all talk about baseball data, missing baseball data, daily baseball data, whatever, missing the site so bad. But when we first started using the weather, when I started using the weather, Pistol Pete Loshak was like, that weather's wrong. Like he wanted me to stop mentioning it on the show my first year down south. He didn't want me to mention daily baseball data because he thought that weather was not accurate enough. So keep that in mind. Let's go. Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. We'll start with the market here. And in this one, Rogers versus Corbin. I can imagine we have Kyle Hintley in the chat. He made a big boy bet fading Corbin last start, and I was the schmuck who thought that the Giants couldn't hit lefties and this would be a get-right start for Corbin, and I couldn't have been more wrong. The Marlins opened up at minus 155. The first move happens 2 hours and 20 minutes into the line being available is towards the Marlins, 5 cents. Since then, it's gone back 15 cents towards the Nats. So the Nats are now plus 125, and the Marlins are minus 145. 10-cent move towards the Nationals. When we go over to the total, opened up at 8 and it's now at 7.5. It moved to 7.5 an hour and 20 minutes ago. Man, tricky stuff. Let's see if the cash can follow suit here. 31% of the tickets and 67% of the cash is on Corbin and the Nationals. 46% of tickets, 57% of cash is on the under. Wow. CT Base says if Soto doesn't hit, Nationals offense struggles and Corbin is bad. Viper MB says both pitchers are cheeks. There's Alex Hills in the house. Great to see you. CT Base says no Chisholm, but Rogers, 2 good starts on the road, 1 bad at home. Marlins minus 140 for CT Base. Raven in the desert on the other side with the Nats. Franco White likes Marlins first 5 money line, says it's juice, but it's worth it to him. Billy Frieder talking about the whips of these pitchers, and Razor Sharp putting $200 on the under here. CT Base trusting Rogers early home road splits. Rogers 0-3, 6.94 ERA, 1.80 whip, 10K, 7 walks, and 11 2/3. His last start was on the road, and he looked very good against a tough Brave squad. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, wasn't earned, 4 Ks. Patrick Corbin, 1 2/3, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 3 walks, and 7-1 loss at home to the Giants. Marlins hitting just 213, 629 OPS versus lefties. And let's just take a quick look at this lineup that's up and at 'em. It is travel day for the Marlins. Birdie, Aguilar, Soler, Cooper, Garcia, Anderson, Rojas, De La Cruz, and Peyton Henry catching.
No Chisholm.
Yeah, no Jazz. And then for the Nats, Hernandez, Soto, Bell, Cruz, Hernandez, Franco, Adams, Lucius, Fox at short, and Robles at center. Take it away here, Sharpie. Let's roll Nats at home to the Marlins.
Trevor Rogers, guys, he's not looked good versus 2 teams who hit lefties and 1 who doesn't hit lefties. So he just hasn't been good this year. Last year versus the Nationals, he was 0-2 in 4 starts with a 3.26 ERA. He never went more than 5.1 innings versus this team. Nats, though, versus left-handed pitchers this year are 14th in walk percentage, 30th in the league in strikeout percentage, 16%, guys. So yes, they are bottom 10 average and 5th OPS, but the numbers say they are going to turn around. They are being patient at the plate. They're just balls are being caught right now, and that's part of baseball. Eventually, those balls aren't going to get caught. When you're not striking out and you're walking, it tends as that average and OPS numbers will come back around. So I expect the Nationals to start hitting, and this might be the day they start hitting again. Once again, Miami's going for the sweep here. Once again, I don't like to back a pitcher on a sweep unless he's on fire, guys, because once again, bad teams only get swept 10% of the year. Washington is a bad team. Yes, I am a Roger hater, Noli, and you're a fucking Roger fucking follower, and you've lost some money on him lately, haven't you? Sorry, but we go back and forth with a lot of pitchers. But yeah, Patrick Corbin, good luck fucking figuring him out, bro. Like, straight up. He just hasn't been good. He has a record of 1-2 versus the Marlins last year. But he did have 2 quality starts in those 1-2. So take that into effect. He went 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less in 2 out of those 3 times. Marlins versus left-handed pitching are walking at 10.2%. That can hurt Patrick Corbin. What can help them is they're striking out league best 29% right now versus left-handed pitching. And if you're going to fucking strike out versus Corbin, you can help him a lot more than what he needs the fucking help right now. So if you're not patient and they don't have their better bats in right now, Jazz Chisholm, guys, if you're looking at props when he's in, he's now hit 9 out of 15 games, 2+ bases, and he was plus 140 last night. How are you giving plus 140 on a prop hitting 75%, guys? That guy is humming. They put him at the top of the lineup. He's now out of their lineup. This lineup's going to be fucking different without their fucking hog. And he's Tatis to this team, guys. He's their fucking little engine that could. So I think it's going to be a long day for Miami, and I definitely don't hate the Washington money, but you're not going to see me backing Corbin with my money. Both bullpens, Miami 13th pin ERA, Nats 20th pin ERA. They both saved 5 out of 6, 3 out of 4. So, I mean, if they get to the end, they seem to be shutting it down. But like I said, I'm not looking to back Trevor Rogers right here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of volatility, except the market doesn't seem to think so. Total goes from 8 to 7.5. The cash is on 47% of tickets on the under and 57% of cash. Big shout out to Gregory D. Lewis. Thank you so much for the dono, my man. It means a ton, man. Thank you for the support, and we love it, man. And Kyle Hintley and putting 500 on both Seattle and Houston. So interesting. I'd love Kyle. So Kyle's been making a ton of cash fading Corbin, but he's not doing it here. And I'd love to know why you are not doing it here. So Sharpie, this is a stay off spot for you.
Yeah. But definitely lean Washington.
A lean towards Washington. And both these pitchers get touched by the opposition. Against Corbin, you have, well, let's see who is going to be in the lineup for sure. Sorry, I know I already read it out, but some of these guys are not in the lineup. You have Aguilar, Soler, and Cooper. Cooper just 4 for 20 against them. Does have a homer. Aguilar 5 for 20 with a homer.
Both guys are struggling though at the plate right now.
Yeah, Soler 1 for 10 against them.
He's struggling too. They took him out the leadoff spot. Like Jazz Chisholm and Sanchez are the two. Birdie's a stud too, though. I do like that kid Birdie.
Mm-hmm.
He's no one talks about him, but dude, that guy might be worth a look today. And they put him at leadoff for a reason with Chisholm out, because that dude just hustles, bro. That fucker plays baseball hard.
Soto 2 for 5. Robles 2 for 3.
They're pitching around Soto right now. They know Bell and Cruz ain't been doing shit, bro. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's and they brought Bell in to give Soto some protection, and he has.
They brought Cruz in, and they took Cruz out the 4 spot yesterday and put Bell in it because he's hitting hot. But last year Bell couldn't do it, and he showed again yesterday he can't hit in the 4 spot. They need Cruz.
TJ said it's a fate of Rogers only for me, and the Corbin get right, especially with Chisholm. I bet you Corbin has a nice performance here because I backed him 5 days ago and he got touched, and I'm not going back to the well. This is what he does to me. Corbin just gets me right in the prison pocket. He just gets this huge joy out of feeding my bottom mouth. I'm off of this spot, but let's just see. Well, I'm going to take a look one more time at is the cash coming in on the 30% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on the Nationals. And then you have to ask yourself, is this the right risk reward for the Nationals? Is this the right price for the Nationals? It probably is.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jimmy, I also, like I told you earlier with the sweep thing, like I look and I learned from Noli too, because I was just blindly betting it. If a team was going to get swept, I was taking the other fucking side, and it was winning at like 63% to start the year. But I don't like just to bet at that, because then it was, no, dude, take the pitchers you like in those situations. So Corbin's in a situation of being swept today. Tyreek Skubal's in a situation of being swept today. And Malley's in a situation being swept today. And Wheeler. So these are all decent pitchers that theory backs. And right here, there's definitely people who see that. It's just more than Corbin versus this team. They're being swept, being brought into it. There's more percentages being brought in that lean towards the Nationals.
All right, Blue Balls play of the day is in. It's with the Cardinals here. We got a Cardinals look for Blue Balls play of the day. God. All right, I'm going to have to stay off at this point. But it's making me
staying off's okay, bro. We've talked about that, bro. We've talked about that. Hey, and shout out to my boy Julio Urias, who you guys tried to say is fucking looking bad. 1 hit, 1 run is bad, guys? Come on.
Hey, look, I cashed with the Diamondbacks.
I'm glad you guys cashed the under, but people were trying to say he looked bad.
I cashed the under end with the Diamondbacks. And your fight back on Urias looking bad got me on the under. So that was a great job, and thank you for bringing, backing up your guy. But I cashed with the better pitcher on the mound, Gallen.
And the Dodgers bats, bro. How bad are they looking the last fucking 18 innings? About 2 runs the last 18 innings. That's bad.
CT Bay says he's on the Tigers and Scooball. I almost bet Scooball, but I was like, you know what? I'll wait and talk it out with Sharpie.
Me too. I cashed it out because I was scared. So we're going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about it right now. 1:10 p.m. Eastern, the Detroit Tigers at Minnesota Twins. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think it was not. Let's figure this out together. It was more about, I don't know, is Bailey Ober a pitcher that shouldn't be faded? That was what I was like, because I love Scooball and I like the price. We have the weather is 46 Fahrenheit, 11.9 miles per hour in. Cold and stays cold, and it's a cloudy, ugly day in Minnesota. Let's go over to the market line history in Minnesota. We have a Scooball opening up at plus 125, went down to plus 115, then back up to plus 120 at 10:15 in the morning, and there's been a 5-cent move back on the Tigers. So Tigers are at plus 115 and Twins are minus 135. Twins open at minus 145 and plus 125 for the other side. Let's see what the total is here from a market movement standpoint. Opens up as a pick'em, and now since opening, there's been a 10-cent move to the under. It was still a pick'em at 10:52 this morning. So it's the last 35, 40 minutes where the money's been coming in on the under. Let's see if the cash follows that to keep everything clear. This says, Sports Insight says there's line value here on the Detroit Tigers. So I gave you guys the Sports Insight's 2 top line value spots, the Reds and the Orioles. Second is the Pirates and Quintana, and the Tigers and Skubal, the Royals and Keller, and the Cubs with Smiley. That's the second flight of perceived line value, says Sports Insights. 10,554 tickets in. 37% tickets, 59% cash on Skubal and the Tigers. 55% tickets, 64% cash on the over in this spot, even though the under is being juiced. Skubal, 2.30 ERA, 1.09 whip. He's a stud. 16 Ks, 1 walk. Was minor league pitcher of the year 2 years ago. Made us a ton of money in the second half of last year. Bailey Ober, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 homer, 6 Ks, and a 2-1 win at home versus the White Sox, who aren't hitting righties. He's got a 2.81 ERA, 1 whip. Tigers aren't hitting righties. Speaking of that, 205, 588 OPS, and the Twins are hitting lefties a little bit. There are some teams that are raking against lefties right now. They're not one of them. 219, 673 OPS. Take it away here for us, Sharpie, Tigers, Twins.
Okay, man. Fuck. You already said it with Bailey Ober. Like, he's been fucking good this year, but he's gone bad versus middle of the pack versus bad hitting right-handed teams. And what the fuck is Detroit? It's a bad hitting right-handed team. So it's like, fuck. That's why when me and Noli were banging it out, it was like, bro, like, this, if anything, is an under spot, like full game, because you want Detroit's bullpen's been third best. Twins is 28th. Not good right there. But Bailey Ober seems to be going 6 innings today, guys, giving up 2 earned runs or less. My thing with Skubal is I don't like to run him in the division, guys. And it's like, am I gonna really buck my trend? Because like at times he hasn't been good in the division and they see him just a little too much. He has fixed his problem from last year. I've been preaching this, guys. You will see his strikeouts been mashed up because they're going to keep going up, and I've been telling y'all that. They let him go 90 pitches last time out, so he's going to go at least 90 again as long as he can handle the full workload. Skubal, problem last year, gave up 36 home runs. 24 of them were on the first or second pitch. He was way too fucking predictable in 0-1 counts or 1-0 counts. They knew what he was fucking throwing. This year, it's change up first pitch, change up 1-0 again, bro. Like, they are not being predictable. So Skubal is going to have a lot better of a year. Twins versus lefties, they're 9th percentage walk percentage, 23 K percentage, 18th average, 15th OPS. I think Skubal goes out and fucking deals today, guys. And the weather's been helping it. If you've been watching anything in these games, these balls have been dying. So I'm gonna have to take the under 7 in this game. I love the fact that the money's coming on the over and they're dropping it more. That tells me I'm on the right side.
Why do you prefer the full game over rather than the first 5? Full game under rather than the first 5 under?
Because the 3.5 is a little shaky, in my opinion. I mean, like, what if someone has one bad inning? And that can happen in baseball. A guy can have a bad inning and come right back out and go back to humming again. So I just want to take out the one bad inning.
3.5s are tricky.
And 3.5s belong to aces to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. Big shout out to Antoine Carson. Happy birthday, my guy. That gives that we have 3 great guys celebrating their birthdays today. Nutflush Allen, Rocky Manichetti, and Antoine Carson. The 28th of April, a great day in the history of the Low Bag fam. Billy Freezer says, I like the first 5 under as long as Twins don't hit the ball Torkelson's way. God, I feel like Skubal's a play. Let's just see if there's enough batter pitcher history between these two guys, because it is a divisional game, even though these are youngsters.
He is 0-2 with a 6.28 ERA versus the Twins last year. One quality start, one bad start.
Yeah, that's not much to give you confidence with. Ober doesn't.
I think he's a different pitcher than last year, bro. He's pitching differently. I think he's not the same guy from last year, and he was good last year. I was dumb for fucking trying to fucking ride him versus the White Sox, okay? That's just dumb, okay? I learned. I will not fucking play a lefty pitcher, even if I like him versus that team, ever a fucking again. I don't fucking care. But since then, the dude's done nothing but fucking mash, bro. And Clayton Kershaw fucking no-hit these motherfuckers, bro. And Tyreek Skubal's got nastier shit than what Kershaw has right now. So I'm expecting a dominant performance, but I think Ober can match him. Let this go 1-2-3, 1-2-3, and then just fall right in the cycle, guys. Baseball will just get the humming.
Yeah, I'm going to need more time here. What are your expectations of Bailey Ober as we move forward throughout the year?
I think he's going to come back down to average, but he's going to be a solid pitcher, it looks like. But he's also, like I said, he's gone against bottom of the league hitting right now. So we haven't seen him versus a top 15 hitting team yet. He's gone up against the bottom of the barrel, and he's getting another bottom of the barrel. He's shown us what he can do versus those teams.
Luis, agreeing with you, says, I hear you, Sharpie. 3.5 is for aces, and these guys are not aces. Maybe on their way, but at this point, not aces.
Skubal has ace shit, but he ain't there yet.
God, I want to move on to Tigers' first 5. And what would that – see how much that would cost me. I mean, if I'm getting a no-vig situation backing Skubal first 5, I don't know how I don't bet it. Brewers up 1-0, by the way. Let's get this day off to a winning fucking start. Plus 115. How do I not take that? I mean, just thinking about the implied probability there. And TJ saying don't do it. Why aren't you taking Tigers first 5 money line after this breakdown?
Because Tigers aren't hitting.
Yeah, they're simply not hitting.
Yeah. So that's an under to me.
Okay, I've got. We're not going to sit here and hum and haw. More afternoon action, not far away, and Quintana doing Quintana things.
I'd like to say we called that guy. I wish I would have been on it with you, but good job.
Well, we saw what the Mets did after the great start yesterday, so I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna stay in the shoes.
No, Peralta's gonna fucking deal, bro. Come on, man.
I think so.
We're good.
Well then, God, okay. I think I'm. What would I? Sorry, you guys. It's just action that pops off in 30 minutes, and I want in. I think I might move on that first 5 under 3.5 with it being. Let's just go over that swish weather one more time here. Cold, wind coming in. 2 pitchers that are used to pitching in the cold. Yeah, I love it, Justin. I love it. Let's get it. Let's get it. And let's get it. All right, we move on to 1:10 p.m. and Kyle Hintlian, who makes big boy bets. And I've seen a couple big boy bets out of you as well, Sharpie, of late. Some 4-figure bets coming out of you. Mariners, Tampa Bay Rays, Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. We have Chris Flexen going up against Jeffrey Springs. It's a bullpen day for the Rays. Flexen 1-2, 3.63 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, 17 and third, 11 Ks, 4 walks, 2 home runs in his last start. Was at home, and he looks so good at home. Bet on at home, without a doubt. Do we like him on the road is the big question. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 homer, 5 Ks, no walks, and a 4-1 win at home versus the Royals. Jeffrey Springs getting the game started for these Rays. He's had pitched 7 innings from the bullpen so far this year, 9 Ks, 3 walks, and hasn't allowed a run. Mariners hitting 238, 712 OPS versus righties. Rays hitting 233, 686 OPS versus righties. Let's go into the moves here in St. Petersburg. First off, Jalen Beeks will be the primary pitcher, so it will be a lefty that the Mariners face. We have for the Rays, Margot, Franco, Diaz, Lau, Ramirez, Lowe, Walls, Phillips, Pinto. For the Mariners, Fraser, France, Winker, Suarez, Crawford, Toro, Rodriguez, Kalenic, and Torrens. We've certainly seen better lineups out of the Mariners than the one that we are seeing today. Let's move over to the line history in the Mariners-Rays spot. We have the Mariners opening up at plus 115. There's been a 20-cent move to the Rays. It was 25-cent move, but 37 minutes ago went 5 cents back to the Mariners. So it did get up to minus 160 at Bet365. And this total at 7.5, 10-cent juice to the over, minus 120 to plus 100 hasn't changed, has not moved at all. When we go over to the cash in the Mariners spot, 9,810 tickets in. 58% of the tickets, 68% of cash on the Rays, and the market moving towards them. Then 44% of tickets, 81% of cash on the under, and the market not moving there. Take it away, Sharpie, Mariners Rays.
Yeah, it's pretty much simple with me. I don't even look at Chris flexing and when he's on the road or versus own division. Like, I have like my set rules on him, and I believe somebody messaged me first year versus Bundy, and I was like, watch. I said, I think Bundy's going to deal, and I don't fucking trust flexing on the road. Flexen got whooped that day, and Bundy dealt. Today, though, if there's any fucking home ballpark like his ballpark, it's the Tampa Bay Rays ballpark, guys. That's such a good pitching ballpark that I if I was to look his way, it'd be Chris Flexen. Jeffrey Springs, like you said, he's going to open, but he's never gone more than 2 innings, and Jalen Beeks hasn't gone more than 2 innings himself this year, so I really think it's a straight bullpen day, just maybe 2 innings at a time. And when you're expecting 2 innings at a time, one of those guys is not going to have their fucking shit that day, guys. At least one of them. So I'd be looking at flexing, but like I said, I just don't bet him on the road.
Yeah, I don't touch flexing on the road. Look at Kenny V. Says Shane Livensparger behind the catcher. Umping. Spin Doctor says he has a tight and consistent strike zone. Says, give me the Rays. Flexen has no control. That's a different look. Lamont Williams is a Tampa Bay Rays fan, and he's got Flexen over 4.5 strikeouts. And there's a lot of love for Seattle, even though the market's going, hitting the other side. Mike M says Sexy Flex is a fade on the road. So that's his plan this year. But Kyle Hindley and loving the spot for the Mariners, loving this lineup. Dav Fenn on the other side.
My numbers say that Flexen's going 6 innings. Yeah, they're a bottom. They're not hitting the fucking ball. They're top 3 in strikeout percentage. And yeah, dude, this team ain't hitting.
Franco White, Sean Thompson loving Seattle, and this one is tricky. This one is.
I just
tricky.
don't like Seattle's bats personally to be backing them like that, but I think Flexen deals.
Oh, very interesting. And he loves those controlled environments, obviously. But I mean, it's not always controlled in Seattle. But he's looked very good so far to start the year. All right, and Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is on the other side, is on the Tampa Bay Rays. Spreadsheet play of the day for Ron Crawford is on the Tampa Bay Rays. Okay, let's move on. This is an exciting breakdown, this next one we have here with the White Sox. Is that the next game? No, it's not the next game. My bad. Sorry, Houston. Sorry, I'm just excited about the Royals White Sox breakdown. Sorry, Houston Astros, Texas Rangers. Next up, we're at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. We have Verlander going up against Martin Perez. Martin Perez, another pitcher that I just don't trust. There's bananas and grapes in the house. Big Ragoo says Seattle going to try to steal one here. Not happening because Rays are masters of bullpen games. So let's fucking go Rays. There we go. Let's talk Verlander, Martin Perez. Martin Perez is a pitcher I don't trust, but I thought his career was over 3 years ago, and he's still out there battling. Verlander just got us in the worst ways last Friday. We were on Cash at Fridays with Razor Sharp Picks. We had I had the Astros first 4.5, minus a half at plus 105. They were up 3-1, 2 out in the top of the fifth, and the Jays went back-to-back homers. It cost me $150, and I was trying not to lose it on camera. Verlander went 6 innings in that game, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 5 Ks in the fourth. They lost at home to the Jays. It's my fault for fading the Jays in any capacity. Perez's last start was real nice. 2-0 win at the A's, 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, no homers, 5 Ks, 1 walk. He keeps doing it. Astros aren't hitting lefties. We got to get rid of that vividness bias of them smashing them. 197, 620 OPS. And the Rangers don't hit righties. 208, 572 OPS. Let's start with the market or line history and then see where the cash is in this spot. And let's grab it here. For the Astros, we have no movement whatsoever. Opened yesterday at 5:06 p.m. and it's still just Houston minus 165. That's interesting. This total, though, went from 8 up to 8.5. Went to 8.5 at 10:52 a.m. Stayed there until 11:45 a.m. when it went back to 8. Those are Eastern time. So it's sitting at 8 at a pick'em. So it's just a 5-cent move to the over since the opening line. And when we go over to the cash in this Astros spot, they have slight line value towards the Texas Rangers via Sports Insights. 88% of tickets, 86% of cash on the Astros, and the market's not moving. 63% of tickets, 63% cash on the under, and we saw that move slightly towards the under. Ooh-wee, what do we do here? Take it away. Justin Verlander, Martin Perez, Sharpie.
Am I going to let this fucking money and shit scare me off again from a bet? Because last time we talked about this, it was the Dodgers. And the Dodgers won 4-0, and 93% of the money was on the Dodgers. And I pied out on a really easy situation. I'm not fucking pieing out again, dude. Astros run line, dude, minus 1.5, dude. I'm taking it. I'm on it. Minus 105. Give it to me with where, if it hasn't moved, it's still the same. Here and why, guys. Like I said, I stayed off Verlander last week versus Toronto, but I've been on him for the first 2 starts. And he didn't have a bad game. He gave up 4 fucking hits, just happened to be back-to-back home runs. Verlander's been fucking dominant. The Rangers are 24th average, 3rd OPS, 30th OPS versus righties. And this ain't no fucking righty, guys. This is one of the righties in baseball, one of the premier righties in baseball. And, okay, the Astros aren't hitting lefties. They're bottom fucking 20 average, fucking bottom 5 average, bottom 20th OPS. But guess what, guys? Last night versus a lefty, they fucking scored 4 runs in the fucking 5th inning and fucked my fucking my under. And they had some really quality at bats. They're looking like they're turning it around. And you're giving me Martin Perez, who last year had 1 good and 1 bad start versus this team. This team's starting to click. And you play a little bit better when you're fucking hogs on the mound, especially after that game like that. So I expect a huge bounce back game from Verlander today. And I expect Perez to give up a few. And then we get into that Texas bullpen who does nothing but suck dick underneath a bridge for fucking beer money. And they go to NA or AA meetings. They don't even drink. So, yeah.
They're just blowing guys for fun.
For free, pretty much, dude. That's just for the fucks of it. So, yeah, give me the better bullpen. Give me the better pitcher. Verlander, 6-7 innings, dominant. Might even go longer because their ball and strikeout percentages are good. So, if you're going to be first pitch swinging and he's getting quick outs, you might see a vintage Verlander game, guys. 9 fucking innings from the hog today. You can see it.
Wow. That is one hell of a breakdown.
I called fucking Bueller's fucking too. So I'm 1-0 on these fucking things right now. Better watch out. I said, we're coming into May. We're gonna let that thoroughbred go, and they're gonna ride him all game. It's Verlander time, guys. Give me Verlander.
And I got you a plus 101, by the way. That's available at Pinnacle. It's a much better line than other books. Let's go to the batter versus pitcher here for Verlander and Martin Perez. I'm pulling it up right now. It's just taking a second. what are your
Hey,
expectations?
while you're pulling it
Yeah.
up, Altuve will be available Friday. He can't come off the IL until then, but dude, he looked really good warming up and shit in the game yesterday pregame. So
Okay,
he will
so
be in the lineups come Friday.
That's important to know. Against Verlander, Marcus Semien gets to him. Corey Seager 0 for 3, Solak 0 for 2. Brad Miller 1 for 6. Mitch Garver 0 for 3. Cole Calhoun 53 at bats, hitting 170 against him, and 53 at bats. It's the only guy who gets there is Willie Calhoun. Let's see if we got lineups up here for these Rangers. Willie Calhoun is DHing. Cole Calhoun batting first. So it's Calhoun, Semien, Seager, Garver, Lowe, Garcia, Calhoun, Miller, Ibanez.
So the guy batting 173 is leading off versus Verlander? Oh, yeah. Thank you.
53 at bats, too. In 53 at bats, he has 3 RBIs.
They got him leading. What the fuck are they doing over there, bro? This is the game you tell a guy to sit down and have a good day. And you lead him off versus him?
Tell me about your thoughts on Martin Perez before we move on to the next game.
He's had like 2 bad starts, one good. Both were versus top 10 though, left-handed pitching team. So he's gone up against some teams that hit lefties, and he's done pretty well. Like I believe he went up versus Colorado. He did all right versus Colorado, who smashes lefties. So I'd have to pull his actual shit, but he's had 2 bad starts this year and 1 good. So he hasn't been good. So I didn't write his exact numbers down.
No, you're right.
My bad on that.
He's coming off this great performance at the A's, but he has not been good.
But that's the A's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. You fucking pitched well versus a team that fucking is underneath the bridge with the Texas Rangers bullpen.
Dabby Cab says, you know what I think about him? He did all right last game, but I don't like him. And CT Base thinking about the Astros run line. Remo says, do the Astros hit him well? Yuli Gurriel 7 for 14 against him with no homers, but Martin Maldonado 8 for 15 against him. So they do. Bregman doesn't, but Brantley does 3 for 9. They don't have power against them. They have no home runs. They have no home runs against them, and I'd have to do the math here quickly, but 35, 46, 51, 65, 80, 80. They have no home runs against them in 85 at-bats. No home runs and 8 RBIs in 85 at-bats, but they get hits. I get the look, though. I really get the look, and I see why you're kind of staying off the first 5, but know that when you get to the bullpen, you have an advantage. All right, Sharpie's locked in. Astros -1.5 at +101, and I am interested. I'm interested.
I am worried about the money, though. That's the only fucking thing that scares me. But if this hits again, dude, I might just start fading that. I'm not going to be worried about that shit because that's 2 times I'll hear a crazy amount of money's on it and the line didn't move.
You're right, but in that Dodgers series, there was money on the Diamondbacks in those last 2 games. Clear big bets coming on the Diamondbacks, and then they won. So it's tough. It's those things happening to you are tough because you're going to have a vividness bias of being so right, and the market, the not trusting what you're seeing from the numbers. And I think when it comes down to it, that you excel at MLB and you work your ass off on all these numbers, and that you should probably trust yourself more than anything else all the time. When it comes down to it, but I love it. Okay. We have Sharpie in for the Astros -1.5 at +101. All right, let's move on to a fascinating game here. 2:10 p.m. Eastern. Kansas City Royals 6-10, 1-5 on the road at the Chicago White Sox. White Sox are 7-10, but 5-3 at home. So we have multiple things going on here, and the first one is the taint play of the day is in business here, and that is the White Sox first 5 -0.5 being supported heavily by Mia Khalifa. Mia Khalifa heavily interested in the Chicago White Sox. Not only that, we have the host of our MLB Prize Picks on the show. And now we are adding the host of Say Hey Plays at 5:30 p.m., who's also moving on this game as a Say Hey Play. So please welcome to the show, Jose Bouquet. Jose, how are you?
Doing okay. Can't complain. A card that I'm not a big fan of. This is one of those weird days where all the games basically are at noon or early. So only 2 games on for Say Hey Plays today, but it'll be a fun show nonetheless. I mean, we'll recap the plays we had earlier today, and then we'll see what happens. Me and Bovana. It'll be fun.
And live betting will be a big part of the show, I imagine. So let's review your record that's been so phenomenal thus far. What happened yesterday, and where do you stand?
Well, yesterday we went 5-5. Down some juice. Unfortunately, the Orioles, they tied it up late, but they didn't have enough offense to get it over the line. That was tragic. And obviously, we get crushed with those under spots in the Guardians-Angels games. That was an immediate loser, which makes me feel a little better that I didn't have to watch the full game and see that unfold quickly. But yeah, we're still 84-66, still 24 units on the year, so can't complain. Nevertheless, it's going to be a fun day. And by the way, Sharpie, to make you guys all feel better, I'm also on the Houston Astros run line and first 5 minus a half too.
Oh,
could I make you feel a little bit better about being pissed off about the Angels game? I had Trout plus 7-14-6 total bases, and they pulled him in the fucking 7th because they had that lead. He had 4 bases already, dude. This Falker's machining it.
Yeah, Jimmy does not like hearing that because Trout is taking a quick lead on the WAR stats over Vladdy. So
it's okay. It's okay. I know what happens to Trout when his calf.
He's gonna get hurt. Damn. Yeah,
we all laugh.
Hey, and Noli did bring that up to me today too. They're trying to protect him. It's going to hurt him in the long run. They pulled him 2 innings early to protect him. He's a fucking baseball player, one of the best defensive baseball players in the league, and you're pulling him to save him 2 innings, bro? He's going to get hurt, bro. They're babying him way too much.
I'll accept almost a 2-WAR. I'll accept it.
Yes. No, you have the lead at this point. 2:10 p.m. Eastern, Royals, White Sox. We're at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. I'm going to set this game up for you guys. We'll go with Jose and then down to Sharpie. And this one is a beauty and is an hour and 10 minutes away. We'll start with the weather in Chicago. 43 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 6.9 miles per hour left to right. It moves up to 9.6, but it stays left to right and probably helps the pitchers and isn't too harmful for the batters. Let's talk about the line history in this White Sox game. I did cash the under 3.5 first 5 yesterday. Here we have Keller opening up at plus 145, and they started pounding these White Sox. These White Sox got up to minus 200 at 9:56 in the morning, and they're back at minus 180. So 15-cent move since the opening line, and the market has moved towards the Royals over the last 3 hours. We go over to the total. It opened up at 7, and it was minus 115 to the over. Within 5 hours, it moves to a pick'em, and then at 1:53 a.m., European action or syndicates or whatever you call it comes in, and 15-cent move to the under. And then at 9:56 a.m., it moved to 6.5. It only lasted at 6.5 for 37 minutes. At 37 minutes, it moved back to a 7. And at 12:14, it's now 7 at minus 125. So we have a 20-cent move towards the under so far since the opening line. This is all at Bet365. We have 8,650 tickets in. So Keller has a line value, says Sports Insights. 8,650 tickets in. We have 23% of the tickets and 28% of the cash on the Royals, fading Kopech. And then we have 35% of tickets, 52% cash on the over, which is interesting as this is moved to the under. Keller has looked good this year in 17 2/3, 0.91 whip, 2.55 ERA. He's 0-2, though. And he's coming off 4-1 loss at the Mariners, where he did look a little susceptible. 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, 4 Ks and 2 walks. Kopech has been lights out so far this year. 0.64 ERA, 0.79 WHIP, 15 Ks in 14 innings. In his last start, he went 5 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 7 Ks, 1 walk, and 2-1 loss at the Twins. Shout out to Williams Wrestling in the house. Great to see you. Royals versus righties, 213, 609 OPS. White Sox versus righties, 204, 579 OPS. Williams Wrestling's at the MGM Grand as we speak, watching us. Have a great time while you're there, Williams Wrestling, and get the fucking papier. Take it away, Jose Bouquet, all one hole. Royals, White Sox.
So this is where our weather, odometers, whatever we're calling it, these are where ours will differ a little bit. I've got 10-mile-per-hour wind in. And Chicago is one of those weather, and that's on RotoWire. So, we will see where that goes. I don't know. I took the first 5 under here on top of the wind allegedly blowing in. If it is, if it isn't, who cares? I still like both of these pitchers. Brad Keller has been great so far this year. On the road, it is worrisome, of course, on the road. Brad Keller so far at Seattle last time out, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 4 Ks, 2 walks. Worst start of his season so far. Of course, it comes on the road, like I just mentioned. Second start of the year, I should say, versus Detroit at home, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs off a home run, 2 walks, 5 Ks. And to start off his year, he had a dominant 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned run, 5K performance versus Cleveland. Michael Kopech, obviously, is the real deal, James Neal. It makes me hurt a little bit when I see him dominate because obviously he was a former Boston Red Sox, Chris Sale trade, all that good stuff. Minnesota, he dominated 7 Ks, 3 hits over 5. I like both of these pitchers. On top of that, these offenses are shitty, just bottom half offenses against righties. Right now, the Royals are 25th against righties, 80 weighted runs created plus. And the White Sox are 29th against righties at a 73 weighted runs created plus. Not even close to 100, which is the sad part for this White Sox squad. So I took the first 5 under 3.5 at -125. A little juicy, obviously. Jim, I know that makes your heart quiver over there when I say I'm -125. However, and it's a 3.5, so that's also the scary part too. But if the wind is in fact blowing in Chicago, that is the only city that I really factor wind in heavily. If it's blowing out like we saw the other day and the Chicago total was at 10, it was the day where the Cubs beat the Pirates 21-0. You can see it definitely affected. And if it's blowing in, I can see the opposite effect here and it being a very low-scoring offensive day. I did not take the full game, mainly because the White Sox had to go full balls yesterday for that win, break their winning streak. Kendall Graveman went 2 innings yesterday. He, I guess he's their ace. I mean, Liam Hendricks obviously is the all-star closer. We all know that, but Kendall Graveman's fantastic. They gave him the bag in a 3-year deal, I believe, so he's fantastic. So he won't be available today. The Royals obviously have their arms intact. They didn't use Stalmont yesterday. I love him. But their bullpen is, shaky. They've got 2-3 guys they can count on, and I think they'll be available today. So honestly, I would lean Royals full game, but I'm not going to worry about that, and I'm just going to take the first 5 under 3.5 at -125.
Well, we can get you a much better number at Pinnacle, so we can get you the -110 there. So let's cut the vig here,
There you go.
And I get it. I get the look. Shout out to Paul Taylor, the sailor, with a $10 dono. Says, we be pubbing. Much love to you, Paul Taylor. Thank you for the support. So we have Say Hey on the first 5 under 3.5. And Billy Friedrich asks, this is the Keller of sight and speaking. Yes, this is. Helen Brad Keller on the bump. You're absolutely right. This is the Keller of sight and seeing. Let's move over to our guy, Sharpie. Got Sharp in my head. Kansas City Royals, Chicago White Sox, Sharpie. Take it away. We have Say Hey on the first 5 under 3.5, and I've not moved on this game. Are you moving on this game?
Nah, I'm not going to move on it, but straight up, it says Keller's going to have a good game. Like, fucking, I'm a little high, but all right, here we go. White Sox this year, 26 average, 30th OPS, trash, guys. Bottom 5, crap right now versus righties. Last year, Keller versus the White Sox, 1-2 with in 4 starts with a 4.22 ERA, 2 quality starts. Only 1 time did he not reach the 5th inning. So I like that under first 5, but like I said, it's got to be 2 aces for me to bet a 3.5. But if I was to bet the first 5, it's under first 5 to me too. Like Jose's on right here. Kopech, guys, he's elite, guys. Finally, the 33rd pick of the fucking 2014 draft is starting games in the fucking major leagues. Like, how fucking long did it take for this guy to start? But we got him, and let's make some money off of him while we can. But I can't back him at that juice, and he's going up against the team not hitting right-handed pitching, 22nd average, 25th OPS. So I think it's a dead nuts under first half, but it could go over full game. Both these teams are not good at saving games right now. White Sox have blown 4 out of 9, and the Royals have blown 2 out of 5. Sox have blown 4 out of 9. So neither of these fucking back ends have been fucking closing games the way you want to back a back end of a game. So, and a 7, yikes. But I could see it from both these guys going 6 innings. I could see it, but I'm off this game.
And so Brad Keller's poor road performances are messed with the fact that the White Sox can't hit righties. So you put those together, and then you can't take Kopech first 5 minus a half, even though we have Sharpie, or sorry, Jesus, we have Matty Ice Taint doing just that. So Lurie Garcia hitting 321 against him, Adam Engel 286, but Jose Abreu 188, Tim Anderson 200. So that just counteracts that. Now, look, I get, Matty Ice just has full faith in Kopech, and I guess he's thinking, if I can get a run, I've got a chance, and if I can get 2 runs, I probably cash.
I could see Keller giving up 2, though. I could see a 2-0 ball game, or 2-1 at least. Like, I could see that.
That is exactly what I would be thinking as well with Matty Ice. But honestly, like I believe it was C. James here, the White Sox should not be at minus 200 anymore. This team is not the team we all thought they would be right now. And he's mentioning what happened with the Braves last night. I would take the Royals full game here. I don't hate Matt Randall's first 5 look. Obviously, I love first 5. But I think it's Royals full game for me. I mean, if we're going to look at what Royals against Kopech, they've had, some success. Salvi 1 for 6 with the jack. Carlos Santana hits him well, 3 for 6, 2 home runs, 2 Ks. And that's about it, Hunter Dozier 1 for 3 with a triple. That's kind of like negligible. And then Benintendi 0 for 5 with 2 Ks, and Witt, and not Bobby Witt, that is Whit Merrifield, 1 for 6 with 6 Ks. I do think that it could be definitely 1-0. And you guys know I've been into this stuff plus numbers recently. 114 stuff plus for Kopech, 104 location, and a total of pitching plus of 111. That's all incredible numbers. And Brad Keller, he wasn't even on the list for stuff plus when I try to look for him. He was not even on the 150 player list. They get updated every month, I assume. So it'll be interesting to see where he comes in at. But I believe in Brad Keller here. This is the low-key ace of that Royals staff. Obviously Zach Greinke is the headline name, but Brad Keller is their game 1 starter if they ever make the playoffs like that. So I'll take him the under here, and I'm believing in the sightseeing Brad, and hopefully if he does screw me here, then the graphics will have to step up with his unbeable to see-ness, I guess.
I personally don't take hitting stats unless it's 15 at bats or more, because like at the end of the day, it could have been just one bad game or team been hot when they seen him. Once you've seen 15, then you got a real read on a pitcher. And that wasn't Kopech as a starter. That was him out the bullpen. So he's definitely pitching different now. So, I mean, me personally.
It's all an under game. That's all. But basically what we're saying here, this is screaming under with these 2 pitchers, and full game over potentially with the relievers as well. So I think we've nailed this pretty well, to be honest.
Just to see if it turns out that way.
How could you not trust Helen Brad Keller? I
fucking Mally, bro. This guy is fucking trying to fuck with my money, man. Whew, got out of that in.
He is very scary to bet on at home. I was looking at that under as well. but the home road split scared me off. You've got bigger balls than I do, Sharpie.
Maybe,
Trust me, bro. Big
Sharpie,
ones.
maybe this will relax you.
Yeah.
Oh.
All
Just gave me
right,
a chubby.
we have our Jose Bouquet on Say Hey Play, first 5 under 3.5, -110 in Royals, White Sox, and at this point, Sharpie and I are off. The special guest is Babano on the show today. They're going to be live betting, and one more time, give us your record, the superlative record.
Well, I've actually got 3 more things for you. I've got 3 little announcements for you.
Okay,
So I will start off with this. Since Say Hey Plays only has 2 games on the cards after us, I will just go ahead and mention all the plays that I have because they're all are for the early games. Red Sox money line, I got a shitty line at +117. They're at +120-ish right now. Astros first 5 full game run line -0.5, and full game was or I should say run line is -105. I told you about the first 5 under, and I took the first 5 under in Chicago, Atlanta. I'm trusting your fucking guy, Drew Smiley here. Though I don't like him, I'm trusting him, and I'm believing in Kyle Wright and the development of the Atlanta Braves. They are a factory for starting pitchers, just like how the Cleveland Guardians are. They do the same thing. And Kyle Wright just seems to be that latest product. I didn't think he was going to be fantastic, this great, but it turns out he is. So I'm going to bet the unders there. That's a 4.5. That makes me feel a little better at -120. We all 3 of us got fucked yesterday with that first 5 under in Texas. But I believe in this one as well. And that
was my only loss yesterday. Damn it. And I was leaning fucking Astros first 5 because I was really banking on Javier, bro.
I thought they both were going to be good starters, and they got smacked around a bit. Otto got touched up, but you'll see.
That fucking reliever they brought in, bro. Fuck. That's who did it to us.
Man, that's betting baseball. I can't wait.
Can you put your action? Can you put it in the chat?
Yeah. I'll drop it in there right now. Of course, I have it tweeted out, so follow me at Jose Bouquet, and you guys will see that. 2, the record. I forgot about that. Record is now at 84-66 plus 24.06 units. Shout out to Sun Dizzle. I'm trying to go watch his comedy shows, but he'll never tell me where they are. But shout out to Sun Dizzle. It's a good record so far. We're going to keep it going. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I don't get excited about it, but it's been successful so far. And lastly, there is a certain draft tonight. The NFL draft is tonight, and Pub Sports Radio is going to do an NFL draft stream. I will be there hosting the first 10 picks because I am a Jets fan, and this is my Super Bowl every year. This is the most exciting thing about being.
I hope they trade your picks.
I hope they don't, because that would be really sad. But I'm going to host the first 10 picks. Cab, Boston Nick apparently will be there as well. We'll have some guys come in. It'll be fun time. So that will start at 8 p.m. Eastern when the draft starts. Fingers crossed for Sauce Gardner and an Alabama or Ohio State wide receiver.
Exciting stuff tonight. That pops off at what time?
This draft starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, so we will start when the draft starts, so 7 p.m. Central. And as always, I don't do Pacific time because I don't do math.
No, and this is fascinating that you can excel in MLB with your math skills, but you're doing just that. Jose, say hey, play today for us. First 5 under 3.5. He's going to put the rest of his action here because so many afternoon games in the chat, but we got to keep rolling. Thank you for sharing all that with us, Jose. Remember, we have NBA coming up and we'd like to get through these last 3 games in 9 minutes. So we are going to roll on to Boston Red Sox at Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox 8-11, 5-7 on the road. Jays 12-7, 6-3 at home at Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. How I made a bet on the Red Sox and didn't cash it yesterday is beyond me. Pushed that first 5 at +120. Garrett Whitlock on the bump, 1-0, 0.66 ERA, 0.51 whip. He's looked excellent. 18 Ks in 13 2/3 with 2 walks. And his last start, 4 innings, 1 hit, 7 Ks, no walks, and a 3-2 extra inning loss at Tampa. That was his first start of the year. He'd been out of the bullpen before that. Alek Manoah, he is a bulldog on the mound. 3-0, 2.00 ERA, 1.00 whip, 18 innings, 18 K, 6 walks, 2 home runs. His last start was a 3-2 win at Houston. Went 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, no walks, and a 3-2 win. And looked very good doing it. Very good doing it. There's Nilo in the house. Great to see you, and Nilo. Red Sox versus righties. Not hitting right now. 236, 635 OPS. And you know who told us this last time he was on the show 2 weeks ago was Sharpie, saying that the Blue Jays were not hitting righties as hard. And it's every day their numbers versus righties has gone down since then. They're now just 246, 719 OPS, begging to get Teoscar Hernandez back in the lineup. So let's just do a quick line history and then the cash flow, and then hand it over to Sharpie. And the Tigers have 2 men on with 2 out right now in Minnesota. And I did not move on Screwball. Nice little single there with shallow infield single by Javier Baez. Okay, so we have in this spot the Red Sox open up at plus 140. They go all the way down to plus 115. So a 25-cent move towards them. That was just 11:36 a.m. Since then, Jays money back up. Jays money. So we have a minus 150 now for the Jays. So just a 10-cent move since the opening line. But the Jays were available at minus 135 at 11:36 a.m. And they were available at that number for an hour. But now they're back at minus 150. We go to the total here. Opened up at 8, went down to 7.5 at 9:30, and now is at 7. So a definite thought by the market that there's going to be nice pitching performances here. We have 9,747 tickets in. 65% of the tickets, 79% of the cash on the Jays. 56% of tickets, 70% of cash on the under, and it's moved to the under. Take it away here, Sharpie. Big AL
Quick
East
and
matchup.
fast. I said lean under 7.5. Now it's at a fucking 7. Shout out to our guy Noli. Both these teams combined 25 and 11 to the under. Both these pitchers are pitching really well. Both teams aren't hitting that well. So under full game is definitely the look.
Under full game, and I'm guessing Noli got in on that at 8. TJ says TJ says interest in the Boston team total here. Interested in what Jose's take is on whether the bats will heat up for the Red Sox at some point, and what are your thoughts on Garrett Whitlock? But we got to be tight. Take it away.
I took the first 5 under initially, and then I cashed it out like Sharpie. I did the exact same thing he did earlier. He's like, "Ooh, I need to talk about this because I feel ugly right now." I think Garrett Whitlock shoved. He's the best pitcher on the Red Sox, starting or reliever. He is the best pitcher on the Red Sox. And Alek Manoah looks like he bullied every child he came across in high school. I honestly, when I watch Alek Manoah, I have to check my pocket to make sure my lunch money is still there. He's a fantastic pitcher. I would also lean towards the first 5 full game under, but I took the Red Sox money line. I think they win. Alex Cora's back, and I think that they can get to Manoah here. I think they can do it. And again, they've had a first 2 games were really shitty. They got gut punched yesterday. They come spring back to life, and maybe they can figure out Manoah here. So Red Sox money line is on my card.
Manoah is 1-0 with a 2.45 ERA and 2 starts versus the Red Sox last year, not giving up more than 2 runs in each start. So back that under. There's another thing for it.
Yeah, he can step up in a big way. He loves these big opportunities, although it'll be very quiet on a Thursday afternoon game, travel day game. No action for us there. Let's move on to 4:07 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Guardians 7-11, 4-8 on the road at the Angels, 12-7, 7-5 at home. We're at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Let's take a look at the weather in Anaheim. 67 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 8.8 miles per hour out to left center, goes up to 9.9 and 68 Fahrenheit by the end of the game. We go over to the market in this spot over in LA. We have the Guardians opening up at plus 145. They went down to plus 130, up to plus 150, but they're back to where they started at that plus 145 spot. This total opened up at 8.5, juice to the under at minus 115. It's now 8, and the initial move was to the under to minus 120. Since then, it's been all over. The market moving towards the over. The over 8.5 is now at minus 125. Let's see if the cash flow follows that. We have over 8,000 tickets in, 51% of the tickets, 55% of cash on the Guardians, and 71% of tickets, 89% of cash on the over, and it's quickly moving to the over. Take it away here. Quantrill Detmers, 3.94 ERA, 1.19 whip, just 6 Ks in 16 innings, but he's coming off a good performance in a 5-4 loss of the Yankees where he went 6 1/3, 6 3 in runs. Reed Detmers pitched much better in that loss at home to the Orioles in his last start, but he has struggled since getting rolling in his MLB career. Both teams are hitting righties hard, 274, 770 for the Guardians and 272, 744 for the Angels. And Vladdy is not in the lineup for the Blue Jays today, says Silvar Malco. Thank you for sharing that with us. Guardians, Angels, take it away, Sharpie.
Quick and easy. Reed Detmers is a lefty, not a righty. Real quick, just for real quick personal references. And
Oh, yeah.
fuck Reed Detmers. Okay, I'm done trying to pick when this guy is going to be good or not, and he wasn't that good versus a Baltimore team. So this is Dutch coming on soon. This is a fucking backwood, as Dutch would say, guys. So pass, bro. This is over or nothing. Cal Contral hasn't seen a top 10 hitting team. The Angels are a top 5 hitting team right now. So this is over.
Yeah, and I mixed that up. I had Guardians versus righties and Angels versus lefties. So that was my bad. I just rushing.
No worries.
I guess.
I was just real quick. I had it written down.
Yeah, no, for sure. But you like the over here, but you don't want to move on it?
Nope.
And what is the hesitance? Where's the hesitancy coming from?
I don't know. Because I already got 3 bets in today. That's the hesitancy. I don't like to have more than 3.
And interesting. Okay. And I'm surprised it hasn't moved to 9. I'm guessing that we're going to see a 9 here shortly. Maybe I should pop this in here. Over
both bullpens are bad to mediocre, so there's nothing to worry about the bullpens. Guardians have blown 2 of 4 games. Angels have blown 4 of 7 games. So their closers haven't been good either. So everything to me screamed over. All right, give me the over. I'm going to have to put my fucking money on it, dude. We're having 4 bets today. This is what happens when you're on the show, guys.
It makes sense to me. I think I'm going to run with you, but we can get you in. Oh, wow. Already moved to 9 at Pinnacle, too.
They're fucking watching us.
But you can get me half there at minus 122. That's a pretty good price. Over at Circa, we can get you that over at wow. Jesus, Circa's hanging in 8 still, but at minus 125. Well, that's got to be a. Let me just refresh this. I'm gonna refresh it here. If you can bet it, then we'll move on it. It's still there. Over 8, minus 125. And
take it.
You can bet it right now at Circa Sports. You can bet the over 8 at minus 125. If anybody has their Circa up, that should be bet right now.
And I just bet it at 8.5 personally because I'm on Bovada right now, so I'm just being real. Yeah. But for the show, 8, cool. But I just took an 8.5 for those who want it at an 8.5. I did.
Wow. So that's available right now for anybody in Colorado, Vegas. I forget the other state. Okay, let's roll on. 2 games left, and we'll be quick here. Chicago Cubs at Atlanta Braves. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Drew Smiley going up against the monster, Kyle Wright. Wow, is Wright being spectacular. 2-0, 1.06 ERA, 0.76 whip, 26 Ks in 17 innings, and 2 walks, 26 Ks, 2 walks. Last start, 6 innings, 4 hits, 11 Ks and a walk, and a 3-0 win at home versus the Marlins. Cubs are hitting righties very hard. 281, 776 OPS, and the Braves are hitting lefties hard. 250, 754 OPS. Drew Smiley got touched, so he got off to a great start, but he got touched. The 4-2 loss at home versus the Pirates. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks. So we are in Atlanta. So let's start with the weather very quickly. 76 Fahrenheit, 6.7 miles per hour in. Ducks to 4.7 and then 5.2 at the end of the game, but it's always coming in. We go over to the market here in this spot. We have the Cubs opening up at plus 150. They're now at plus 180. So we have a 30-cent move, but more than that for the Braves. Braves opening up at minus 170, moving to minus 220. 50-cent move towards the Braves. And this total opened up at 8.5. A juice to the over. It's now 8.5. Juice to the under. Let's see if the cash follows that here in Atlanta. We have 84% of the tickets, 68% of cash on the Braves. So some big bets have come in on the Cubbies. And 34% of tickets, 61% cash on the over, surprisingly. Take it away here, Sharpie, Cubbies, Braves.
Definitely real quick on this game. I didn't bet it. It's over or nothing, or it's Cubs or nothing, in my opinion. And I love me some Kyle Wright, guys. Let me tell you. Miami looked fucking terrible swinging at pitches, fucking not even close to the zone. Kyle Wright's numbers looked way better than what they should be the last time out. The Cubs are walking at 10.7 walk percentage. One of the top teams in the league at walking, one of the better teams in not striking out, guys. They're top 5 average, top 5 OPS. These team, think of the fucking Dodgers, guys. Okay, this is a very patient team, and they're taking their walks, and they're hitting the fucking ball. So that's why I'm on either over or the Cubs right here. And I cannot back Drew Smiley. Atlanta hits lefties, guys. I get it. Cubs have the way better bullpen. 4th ERA. Braves have the 25th ERA. So it's Cubs or nothing or over or nothing for me.
Yeah, understand. And the market also kind of pushing that direction. Also, TJ saying lean Cubs, value is there. Wow. Okay. No move for me at this point. Let's move to final game on the card, and then we have Dutch Boy Fresh for NBA. 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Diamondbacks 8-11, 3-4 on the road at the Cardinals. 10-7, 4-3 at home. Diamondbacks have looked good last couple of days. Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. We'll start with the weather here in St. Louis, and there'll be a lot of eyes on this game, on both of these late games, and probably not actually, because everybody will be watching NBA playoffs. 74 Fahrenheit at first pitch, goes down to 70, 5.8 miles per hour right to left. It starts moving out. So slightly out an hour in, and then pretty decent out to left field by the end of the game at 8.8 miles per hour out in St. Louis. Then we look at the line history in St. Louis here. Sorry, we have the Cards opening up as minus 170 favorites. And that's where they stand right now. There have been 10-cent moves towards them, and each time it comes back. From a total look, opened up at 7.5, 5-cent move to the like a minus 115 to the under, and that's where it still is here. So very little movement. Let's see if there's very little heavy movement cash-wise. There is 85% of tickets, 80% of cash on the Cardinals, but the market not moving towards them. And Dakota Hudson, and 69% of tickets, 61% of cash on the under, and the market not moving towards the under. Humberto Castellanos has 12 innings under his belt this year, 3 ERA, 1.25 whip. Last start was a 5-2 win at home versus the Mets, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk, looked good. Dakota Hudson coming off a nice start, but it was against the lowly Reds, 5-0 win there, 6 2/3, 2 hits, 4 Ks, 4 walks, no earned runs. Diamondbacks just 188, 614 OPS versus righties. And Cards 228, 627 OPS versus righties. Take it away here. Final game on the card. Sharpie, Diamondbacks, Cardinals.
This one right here, quick and easy. It's over, and I see all the money coming in on the under or nothing for me. And I can't back Hudson right now personally. Hudson hasn't looked good. His whip is disgusting. And if you look over there, right, Arizona, they're the best team in taking walks. They're also the freaking worst team in striking out. But those walks will fucking hurt one day, guys. And I can't back Hudson the way he's been pitching personally. Big drastic difference in bullpen. St. Louis does have the better bullpen. But coming into the series, the last series, Arizona's bullpen was elite versus the Dodgers. So have they turned it around, guys? That's something you need to take into effect, too. They shut down the Dodgers the last few freaking days. So who knows what those numbers could be coming towards a different way there. And St. Louis's average OPS, they're middle of the pack right now versus righties, but all their other numbers say they're going to start crushing righties. They're being very patient at the plate. They're walking at a good percentage. They're 29th in the league in striking out, guys. They're not striking out. So that's going to turn around, guys. A lot of those times you don't want Pujols in a lineup versus a righty. He's going to fucking poison your lineup. Like at the end of the fucking day, bro. So if you're backing the Cardinals and you've got a right-handed pitcher against you, you got to look if Pujols is in your lineup because he isn't out.
Yeah, he's not expected to be in the lineup too, but you're right. He's just terrible when he's in there. That's a sneaky over. James S. not liking it, thinking under, but it is a sneaky over here, a very sneaky over. And the weather starts helping it. And you have an emotion. The Cardinals coming off an emotional game that might have brought them together a little more, and they know they need to rake here, and they can get to that bullpen. This is interesting. I think that over is very interesting. A little 7.5, pretty easy to get up over, and the Diamondbacks feeling good about themselves. I'm going to put more time into that. So at this point, your fourth bet, you've made 4 bets, but only 3 official picks because the one market moved so drastically towards the under, and so you stayed off of it. So let's review MLB action. I'm on the Brewers first 5 -0.5 and Brewers full game -1, -120 and -32 respectively. We are
Orioles 1-0. Sorry.
Beautiful.
Go. Sorry.
No, I love it. I fucking are you kidding me? I'm on the Orioles first 5 plus a half at plus 110. Sharpie is on hits, runs, errors over 23.5 in the Rockies Phillies game. That was at plus 115 at Bookmaker. Marlins Nationals no play. Blue Balls play today is on the Cardinals game. Yes, run first inning. Says Hudson loves giving up runs in the first, but usually settles nicely in afterwards. Tampa Bay is the spreadsheet play today for Ron Crawford. I have Tigers with question marks in the first 5 under 3.5, but didn't get to the window with them. And Sharpie's on the Astros minus 1.5 at plus 101. I have asterisks there. That game pops off in 40 minutes. We have other cappers like Jose Bouquet on that as well. The Sehe plays first 5 under 3.5 in Royals White Sox. Then and Matty Ice is on Baltimore, team total over 3.5 at plus money. Red Sox, Jays, no action for us, but Jose has told us that he is on the Red Sox. Sharpie, we found an over 8 and minus 125 in Cleveland LA Angels that was available to bet. At Circa. And it was a great find. Cubs, Braves, no action there. I'm very interested in that over in Arizona, St. Louis Cardinals. Sharpie stars in our show Prize Picks, MLB Prize Picks at 310 when he focuses on player props. So that would be a player prop breakdown that pops off in an hour and 40 minutes. Great to have you back in action, Sharpie. Go get that cash, my man, and follow Sharpie. As selfless a capper as you'll ever find. That's one of the reasons why we love him so much. But follow him on Twitter because he just wants everybody to cash together. And he is at Sharpie's Picks here. I'm going to pop it into the chat. Sharpie, any last words for the capper supporting the show?
Yeah, man. Shout out to you guys. Smash the fucking like I smashed BBWs, guys. Plus 600s means 2 beautiful women. So shout out to Dutch for fucking hanging in there. Sorry about that we took a little bit too long. But let's get to the fucking money and get to one of the hottest fucking cappers on this fucking show, guys. Because he's giving out fucking winners.
He certainly is. Great job, Sharpie. Look forward to doing this again with you, my man, and have a great show today. And there is Sharpie's Twitter handle. Yes, Kyle Hintley and Sharpie, both Sharpie and Jose are on the Astros, and I'm interested in adding them as well. All right, it is time to move on to the NBA. And just the man for the job. He has been lurking backstage. He's not there now, but I know he's going to be jumping on here in a second. So, here we go. I'll just write him that we are ready for you. Okay, so I moved in NBA. Well, yesterday was a aggravating day. Nuggets cover everything except the first quarter. But I did cash on the Nuggets Warriors first quarter under 58, and that was even fortunate. At the 7-minute mark, I had no chance of cashing, but then the Warriors went cold. So a 1-1 day down 0.1 units. I'm 150 wins, 135 losses, 52.6% plus 4.58 units with an ROI of plus 1.61%, average line minus 109. Lamont Williams max bet is in as well. Lamont hit me with it. I can't. Minnesota. Oh, I know you hit the Minnesota Detroit no run, but if you could hit me with that again, I would be very thankful. I missed it. And it is now time to watch the hottest capper over it's not just hot. I mean, it's just, he's having the finest season of any guest I've ever had. And I've asked Loshak if he's ever had somebody do this over a full season, and he has not. No one has ever done what Dutch is doing right now. 49 wins, 26 losses, 65.3% plus 21.68 units. An ROI just under 30%, 28.91%. Average line minus 105. Yeah, I see that CT Bay's makes me feel good. We're off to a possibly nice start. But I'm always I seem to be sort of a cup is half full guy, and then I'm like, I'm going to sweep the board. And then shit goes awry. So I'm just going to stay in my shoes and welcome your next guest to the show, coming to us live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Please welcome Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy, my guy, what's good?
Yo, Jimmy the motherfucking bag. Salute to you, my guy. All the real ones holding it down in the chat. It's good to be here, man. I can't lie. I'm a little stiff, man. You keep a heavy hitter on the ice a little long. I'm a little stiff, but we back. And I will say, yo, Jose, you my dude, but if you could pick one day of the week not to come on and just talk about shit for 10 minutes straight, it would be Thursday, because the motherfucker got shit to do. Fucking up my routine, goddammit. Hey, but I'm ready to get to this bread, bro.
Is that a fresh new Jays lid I'm looking at, man?
Hey, it is a fresh one, my man. It's a fresh one.
Ooh,
My mom Dukes actually got me this because she watched the show and she's like, "Oh, I'll get this Jimmy from Canada." So yeah, this is a fresh one.
Oh, it's gorgeous, man. That is
I
a
appreciate
thing
you, bro.
of
Yeah,
beauty.
it's gonna bring us a W tonight. You know what I mean?
Well,
A
let's
plus money
start.
W.
Let's start right there. The monstrous game here at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. Game 6 of the East first round battle between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors. Philadelphia now up 3-2 and could possibly be the first team in the history of this great sport to go up 3-0 and lose the series. And who better than Doc Rivers, Joel Embiid, and James Harden to shit the bed than that group of guys? I mean, it's just so perfect. It's almost too perfect, and that's the only thing that scares me. It's just like, sports is so incredible that it's just incredible storyline after incredible storyline, and it never ceases to blow your mind. And this is as fun as possible. Nuke Worker, by the way, says, Dutch, you are money. You're getting a ton of love from the chat, a ton of love, and you deserve it with the spectacular record that you have delivered. We love your capping and love, hanging with you. That's enough. The fact that you're having the greatest season we've ever seen is more than icing on the cake. It's a THC infused icing on the cake. The series is being played at 91.69 possessions a game. Let's just do a quick market look and set a quick table, and then let the man run. So we have the Sixers opening up at -2. They went to -1.5. The money line, I got somehow, I don't know how that they say that it came out at +110. When as soon as I saw it, right when the game ended, I saw it at +105. So I guess it had just moved, but I don't know how that's plus. What's what they're saying here. I got it at +105. It's now at +100, but it hadn't been moving, which did make me uncomfortable. I'm happy to see that it's at +100 right now. From a total standpoint, we have it opening up at 209.5. It went down to 209, back up to 210.5, 210, and now it's back at 209.5. I was looking at your record as I put your action in, and I've noticed, but something from both you and Durrell, and I think it's important for all us that love capping basketball, is both of these guys just went to what they do best, and that's full game sides. And you did it better than anyone's ever done it. Durrell still really, using first quarters and first halves, but only sides. And you went to full game sides. And it's important for us to see what's working. These guys cap basketball their whole lives, gamble on basketball their whole lives, and they've gone back to simplifying it as much as they possibly could. And once they've done that, they've had the highest ROI of their careers. Very important.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. Correct. It's absolutely correct. And just to touch on that real quick, yeah, man, they're doing the show every day, doing this, doing the prop market. You tend to like start breaking down everything. I don't want to say force plays, but you seem to find value in things. You start betting on a lot more. And I've never done that in my life. So, I went to Honolulu for a week, took a vacation, and came back and went back to what has got me to where I've been my whole motherfucking, gambling career. And that's just dumbing it down, betting on the motherfucking game, and, I like all that other shit. It's intriguing, but I like my account to be profitable more than anything else. So, but yeah, man.
Well, it's being recognized and very, very important for us to talk about and be consciously aware of. Why is this capper succeeding at the rate that he is? Well, there's multiple reasons, but one thing that he's done is simplified his action to why he got the opportunity to be listened to in the first place. So I've loved it, and I love tracking your record. It's been very enjoyable. We have 25,900 tickets in. It's 50-50 tickets, and it's 51% of the cash on the Raptors. Now that's with the spread. On the money line, it's 48-52, 52 for the Sixers, and 60% on the Sixers. 52% of tickets, 67% of cash on the under. So the Raptors won Game 5 without Fred VanVleet. Look, we love VanVleet, but you take him off the floor, and we're much harder to score against. If Precious Achiuwa and our help defense can continue playing the way they are against an Embiid who clearly has a hand issue, we are in business. And the way Pascal Siakam has stepped up and looked right in the eyes of a much bigger Embiid has made us all fall in love with him, because that's what he's done. He's not shown any fear whatsoever to a much, much bigger basketball player. And we just were head over heels madly in love with him. Maxey and Harden and the whole 76ers team shot terribly. So, yeah, we can expect them to shoot better. What we don't expect to change is the fact that we beat them 56-36 in points in the paint.
Yep.
And that is the edge that has us believing that we will win Game 6 and then go into Philadelphia. And we can talk about that spot then. We don't need to talk about it now. And I didn't bet, even though Dennis was bang on with the plus 1,700. I didn't. I'm just betting on them every game, money line, and just putting all my money on them every game. Here we go. Let's give the floor to the man who deserves it. Dutch Boy Fresh, Raptors at home to the Sixers.
Yeah, man, some good points there, Jim. And the last one was really, I believe, really good one. 56-36 in the point and paints in Game 5. They're going to work. Only shot 25% from the deep as well. So I believe that'll improve at home. You touched on it, VanVleet, and then Game 4 they actually was the first game they scored him in the paint too. Only +4, but it shows you they got that, and they've only are improving on that. I believe they'll continue to improve on it here in Game 6. VanVleet, you touched on it, man. You gotta like him as a Toronto, but he got a lot of heart. But outside of that first quarter where he went off, he was real suspect shooting the ball. So would I like him out there? Yeah, but if he's not healthy, I believe they can find a way to get it done without him. But this, to me, Jim, I touched on it in Game 5. It's pressure, man. It's pressure, and pressure is a motherfucker. And when you got it on Doc Rivers, and I know everybody's seen that little interview where he pretty much gave you a reason for every fucking reason why he has failed on a 3-1, which the interview alone just makes me want to fade the motherfucker. But then you look at the other shit, and there's more reasons to fade him besides that. But yeah, man, they're not going to handle the pressure. But James Harden, not so well under pressure. Joel Embiid, I believe he'll do his thing, but that hand issue, that thumb issue, it might not be an issue when he shoots the ball. Anytime he rebounds the ball, anytime he catches the ball, anytime someone swipes at it, it's an issue, man. I'm telling you. But the Raptors have found confidence. Nick Nurse is going to outcoach Doc. It is what it is, man. It's just pressure's a motherfucker, like I mentioned, and I don't believe that the 76ers will rise up to it. They've shown that they, crumbled in Game 5 at the house. Really wasn't in that game at all from start to finish, and the Raptors were 8-point underdogs. Here we got a pretty big swing here, but I believe the plus money is good money. I got it at 105. Now, they did out-rebound the Raptors. Raptors out-rebounded the Sixers in Game 4 and Game 5 as well. 24 assists to only 8 turnovers without their starting point guard on the court. I expect that to only even really improve having another game without him, seeing how they play. Siakam has been very good in that aspect as well, averaging 6 assists in the last 2 games, 28.5 points per game in the last 2. So if you're watching the games, you can see it. Jim touched on it. He's feeling himself, man. He's going at Embiid. He's going at anyone. I don't want to say he's the best player on the court, but he definitely thinks he's the best player on the court. I know that. They, like I mentioned, they shot 25% from 3 in Game 5. I believe that can improve as well. Only 13 free throw attempts in Philly, Jim. They had 35 in Game 4 in Toronto. Look for them to probably get more towards the 20 to 25 free throw attempts, I believe, in Game 6. But, to me, the pressure is one thing that we could fade on Philly, but they just don't play well in Toronto. Toronto's good at the house as well. Won 8-2 straight up last 10 at the house. They have won 16 out of the last 20 games against the Philadelphia 76ers in Toronto. And then, man, I just don't trust the Sixers, and I definitely don't trust them with all this pressure. And on the road, they've been a fade of late. 1-6 ATS last 7 on the road. They're 5-15 against the number last 20 in Toronto. I believe this is easy money right here. I really think that the Raptors have no pressure on them right now. All the pressure's on Philly. They're going to go back thinking, in the back of their mind, Jim, I know these motherfuckers, man. They got in their mind, oh, they still have to come back to Philly. That's already in their mind. Of course, they're going to North to try to win this game. I believe that. But I know James Harden and Embiid, these motherfuckers, the way Doc Rivers, the way these motherfuckers think, oh, they'll still have to come back and beat us in Philly. Well, we're going back to Philly for Game 7, and we'll talk about it then. But tonight, it's the motherfucking Raptors, bro.
I agree. No Van Fleet again tonight, and I imagine the Sixers will shoot a lot better, and I don't know if it is enough.
They shot 42% from three in game 4 in Toronto and lost too, you know. So I mean, they shot the ball better, and Toronto still beat them at the house. So I don't think this game will be too competitive, to be honest with you. I think the Sixers fade by mid-third quarter.
We have some cappers in the chat who still think that the Sixers will take care of business. Alvin Smith said, I'm so glad the whole world is on the Raptors. That it seems like it's more just us in the chat, because I already went over the numbers, you know, from the ticket count. So the ticket count right now has 60% of the money line cash on the Sixers, 51% of the tickets, and then it's 50-50 for the spread. But I hear you, Alvin, and AOD also liking Philly here. Keith Wicks looking at Sixers first half, and
people still think Philly is the better team, and they possibly are. But with all this pressure, man, James Harden, and you know, they don't have Thibault, who hasn't really done much. But from a defensive perspective, I don't think they really have too much for Siakam. Scotty Barnes getting back, feeling great. Even more minutes under his legs. This guy's no joke, man. Scotty Barnes is I believe, you know, this is the actual series once he came back, you know. Van Fleet, absolutely. We can definitely win without him. They've shown it.
Absolutely. And when he came back in that first game that he was hurt, after getting hurt, you know, his shot was way off. And I don't necessarily expect it to be better, but those 11 boards he was getting, you start getting those extra boards, you know, you're keeping plays alive, and he's so smart once he has the ball in his hands.
Right.
We're all extremely
unselfish.
Yeah. We're just so thankful.
Just one of those players that brings up everyone else too, you know. Just the morale he has makes everybody better. I mean, you could tell strictly by the rebounds point, everything is just better with him on the court. Big piece in this, man. Big piece.
Yeah, it's fun as a series is being really for me, because I like this team more than any team we've ever had before, and watching them dig deep and come back. You know, I even told my girl, I was like, look, if they lose tonight, I'm so thankful that they dug deep, and then that game in Philly, just to smack them in the mouth, just God, it felt so good. And so, but I expect the Raptors to take care of business. We did find Dutch a plus 104 at Circa. It's plus 102 at Pinnacle. If anybody can beat that, let me know. Nuke says I need money, says Scotiabank Arena going to be rocking. It's going to be nuts in there. Because, again, the tickets aren't that expensive because of COVID. And, you know, in our playoff run 2 years ago, they were ridiculous. You couldn't go. You can go to these games. It's not that expensive.
You going?
I'm not going. No, I'm not going. But it's about 100. I could go for about $180, and I have a bunch of friends going. It's not. But no, I'm watching it here, and it's important for me to watch it with. Ella's so pumped up. She's wearing her Siakam jersey. I want that.
Spicy.
I want.
That's dope.
It's fun. I want my family to know that in games like this, it's a celebration at our house where we eat well and we celebrate together, and I want them to always know that happens. So I'm very comfortable not going to the game here. But come 7 o'clock, I'm going to lose my shit. And you know, Carter doesn't cry when I scream. He doesn't cry. Ella used to cry when I'd lose my shit, but Carter, he's a man. He gets it.
That's dope.
It, you know? So big night for us in Toronto. We're very, very, very excited. Dan Bonner says, love me, my Sixers, but JoJo doesn't have fight because he's never had to play through an injury. Harden just a bum, and Maxey too young to be trusted. See y'all in Philly Saturday.
I dig it, my man. Well said.
Yeah, I love that, Danny. All right. Kyle says, awesome to watch games with kids. Yeah, it should always be a celebration. Sports always will bring us together. Let's move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and can't wait to hear this breakdown as I have not moved on this game. West first round, game 6. Phoenix lead series 3-2. And another shout out to Rez Mob. Rez Mob said in game 5, he said the main thing he put up was, he said it was alpha time. And he said, trifecta, first quarter, first half, full game on the Suns. And when I heard alpha time, I probably should have thought of Mikal Bridges, because he's the one that got all of the love. I was thinking Chris Paul, and Chris Paul played well. But Bridges goes for 31 points, 47 minutes, holds McCollum to 7 of 22 shooting, never missed a game in his entire career, and they leaned on him. Now, Booker was not expected to play, and it now looks like he may play. I don't know if if he will play or not, but JV needs to have a monster. Do we know if he's in?
My bad. It's questionable. I think personally, I think they're gonna sit him and play him in Game 7.
That's what I would do.
If need be,
Yeah, if they lose Game 5,
why rush him back?
Yeah, exactly. I'm completely with that. I need money. Says Bridges won't play like that again. And Sammy sprinkling OT for Sixers Raptors at plus 1,500. Oh, I do not want the OT. Don't want that. But you can imagine that Harden will be fouled out by then if that happens.
Retired as a motherfucker, right?
yeah, wheezing on the bench. Ingram has to step up. 22 points. He hurt his arm. It's his fingers. He's got 2 fingers taped, and he says he's fine and good to go. So he went 7 of 19 from the field. He's got to do better than that. He's got to. Rez said alpha time. Well, he's got to, because he's showing that at times that he can be the alpha. He's got to be the alpha here, and so does McCollum. McCollum's got to step up. So I can't wait to hear your breakdown. Let me just set a quick line history and then market here. We have the Suns opening up as 2.5-point favorites. That went to 1.5 yesterday. And then maybe, I guess, the Booker news moved it back to 2.5. It's sitting at 2 as we speak. And then from a total look, opened up at 214.5, still at 214.5. There's been a couple times where it dipped to 214. And then when we look at the cash flow in this spot, we have 77% of the tickets on the Suns, but just 47% of the cash. That's on the spread. So 23 and 53 for the Pelicans. And then money line's different, very different, which is weird. I guess they're expecting that if it's a last-minute bucket, it'll be scored by the Suns. 75% of the money line tickets are on the Suns and 86% of the cash. So a very different breakdown, money line and spreads. And then 48% of tickets, 57% of cash on the over. So it's basically a coin flip there. Take it away. Fascinating spot here. Game 6, West, first round. Let's go. Suns, Pelicans.
Yeah, man. Hey, shout out to our guy H-Town. Said the Suns have won every first half and the Pelicans have won every second half. That's a good stat there. This game to me is tough, Jim. I really like the Raptors then. I got a good play in the last game. A lot of money on the table today, I believe. I'm not going to force a play here. I could only look the Pelicanos, though, to be honest. And when you say alpha, I ain't going to lie to you, man. Without Booker on the court, to me, the alpha should be B.I., man. He should be the best player on the basketball court. You touched on he had his moments. He did jam his, I believe, his pinky finger and his ring finger. Should be good to go, tape them motherfuckers up. But CJ also, though. CJ's actually been the player who's went down these last 2-3 games. And if you watched the previous game in Phoenix, they were right there. They cut it to 6, and CJ just couldn't. I believe he was 2 of 12 in the second half, just missing shots that he could be difficult shots for some, but these are shots that he takes and usually makes. So I would look for CJ to have a better game at home. But in order for the Pelicanos to get out of New Orleans and take it back to Phoenix, B.I. has to be the best player on the court. He's got to give you a efficient 30. Give you 7 and 8, 6-7 rebounds, 5 or 6 assists. But you also, Big Val's been doing his thing, man. He had a little kind of a light game, but still did his thing, still doing enough. To me, it comes down to B.I. being the best player on the court and CJ giving you at least 20 to 25 points on efficient shooting. The bench is giving. They got this Alvarado kid who's matching them, bringing him some intensity. I believe you're only going to get better bench play at home. And I don't think Mikal Bridges is going to have a game like that, but I still think that Phoenix can win this game if Mikal does it's a tough game, man. I just think with they're probably gonna be putting their eggs in the basket with Booker coming back in Game 7, and they'll bring the intensity with CP3. But Herb Jones is pretty nice against him, man. I don't know, CP3 was getting pretty tired out last game, but they did find a way to pull away. I would only look to Pelicanos here at the house though, Jim. 7-1 ATS last 8 after a loss. The Suns, on the other hand, are 1-5 ATS last 6 as a road favorite, and 1-5 ATS last 6 after a win. And the big thing in this series has been to me, and I've kind of been back and forth on this game. That's why I'm not really making anything official on this game. But I do believe they're just the Pelicanos are so big. They've been just out rebounding these boys. Offensive rebounds have been a big key. So as long as they can continue to hit these boards, and the three things that I did mention with CJ, the two things, with BI and CJ, I believe the Pelicans win this game, and it goes back to Phoenix with Booker back in action. But it's a tough game for me. Very tough.
Very tough. Very tough. It does feel like watching Willie Green coach, I'm very impressed. And it feels like a spot where he can give that sort of rousing speech that he gave, when they were down 10 against the Clippers. That gave me goosebumps when he was yelling. He was yelling at them, but not like yelling at them like, yelling at them is probably not the right term, but, it was just so impressive. And this is the time where he can do that again. That they can dig deep here.
He gets in their ass like he's a teammate, like he's the point guard,
well put, yeah.
Like some coaches would be scared. Like Steve Nash ain't acting like that. Let's just say that.
So if you had a free $500 bet that you had to make on the side, it sounds like it would be with Dennis Garcia on NOLA money line. Is that right?
Yeah, it'd definitely be the Pelicanos here. If I didn't have so much interest in the first game that we talked about and this last game that we're about to talk about, I would be on the Pelicanos here. But there's no reason for me to bet all three games. I got, there's really not. And there's a clear drop off when we're talking about comfortability and confidence in the two games that we're talking about in this game. So there's no reason to force it, Jim. If it's the only game on the board, I'd be having the Pelicanos in my pocket for a unit, but no need. Shout out to our guy Slaughter. I see you, Jeff.
Ron Crawford. Yeah, shout out to Jeff Slaughter in the house. Looks like he just cashed another soccer, or on his way to cashing another soccer play. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play of the day, and Red Girl Slap That Ass play of the day, both on the Suns. Oof.
Okay, yeah. See, I told you it's a tough one,
It's
I'm
such
not
a
going
tough
to bet
one.
it, but I would only look the home team. I do think it's going back to Phoenix. Pelicanos tough there, too, at the house. They're tough. We'll see, though. It's going to be a good game. I'll be interested in watching it. Hopefully, I'll be able to watch this game a little bit because the Toronto's such a blowout, right? We're just busting that ass and go over there. Sweat a little bit of the other one.
I hope so, man. All right, let's move on to the final game on the card. Oh, wow, Mike M, double result. First half, full game, Suns. Wow. All right, let's move on to the final game on the card. West, first round, game 6. Dallas up 3-2 in the series. We're at Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah. And Donovan Mitchell is good to go, says he will be ready. And he better be. In that 102-77 loss, the Jazz went 3 of 30 from 3. It was the worst three-point field goal percentage in Jazz history, minimum 20 attempts, and the least accurate performance in NBA postseason history. I Need Money says seems like a trap. I'm going to be very interested. So I guess there was thought that maybe Donovan Mitchell wouldn't be in the lineup because I got plus 100 on Monday night, and that got to minus 140. Feeling good about it. It's now back to minus 110. It's a pick'em. Ron Crawford says it will not matter. Mavs money line. I like hearing that. Yes, series pace 91.10 possessions a game. Let's see the line. Oh, I pretty much given you the line history in that spot because it went, from plus 100 to minus 140, and now it's at minus 110. But why don't we take a look at the total? And now those were money line. The total opened up at 210.5 and went down to 208.5 yesterday, 944.5, and it's just gone up to 209. 210 and now 210.5 as of 9:39 this morning. So a 2-point move to the over, which is fascinating. I really want to know the cash flow in this one. And they have the value on the line for the Dallas Mavericks. Sports Insight says the Mavericks have the value, the Pelicans have some value, and then they have the Sixers with a sliver of value as well. 23,819 tickets in. 14% of the tickets are on the Jazz and 32% of the cash. Makes me a little uncomfortable. 55% of tickets on the under and 72% of cash on the under. Maybe that will change as we go. Oh, by the way, Danny Lopez in the house. Raven in the Desert on the over in this Jazz game as well. But Danny has often told us the huge bets that his buddy's dad makes. And I think you had to hear, he said, I posted the big bets my buddy's dad makes. He has a huge bet on the over 214. So that would have been the over 214. That's in the Suns Pelicans game. Over 214, Suns Pelicans game. Thank you for always sharing that with us. Nice to have Joe Yurkovich in the house as well. Mr. Vape says Utah early Mavs live bet after the first quarter. And Alvin Smith says, what's that line tell y'all people? I mean, look at I got scared off betting the Mavericks in game 5 because it didn't move off the -3. You know who never gets scared off of this stuff? Our expert on the show, Dutch Boy Fresh. I've been watching him not get scared off all year. And look, he's winning. Why should I show fear when I think the Mavericks are just a better basketball team? And the Mavericks don't want this to go 7. They want rest, So also the Mavericks were up 3-2 against the Clippers in 2021. They know what it feels like to let a team come back in and beat them. And Luka's been a boss since he's come back. 30 and 13 in game 5, 30 and 10. Those are rebounds, not assists in the game 4. And then we have Donovan not playing at his healthiest. Take it away here. I moved on the Mavs, as you know, at plus 100. And the floor is yours, Dutch Boy Fresh. We are in Utah.
Yeah, man, I'm all over the Mavs here, Jim. You know that. And you know what they say. If you scared, go to church. And my ass definitely ain't going to motherfucking church. I'm all over the Mavs here. And to me, it's simple. There's levels to this shit. And the Utah Jazz are not on the motherfucking Dallas Mavericks level. We've got extreme value this whole series. And my man's in the chat said this game feels like a trap. I ain't going to lie to you. Every game outside of game 2 has felt like a trap to me. How the fuck are we getting all this value on Dallas? And then Jimmy even mentioned it. It didn't even move off the 3 the other night. I got it at 2.5 at -115 at BetMGM. So, you know what I'm saying? And we are by motherfucking 30 feet in the air. Kush been blowing. So it's a beautiful fucking thing. It's going to be the same thing in Utah tonight. All y'all motherfuckers really can say to back Utah is they got their ass whipped by 30 points. They're going to get the best game. That's the only really thing you can say about Utah. If you could be your only really flag, I think that you could throw against Dallas would be that they just got punked. So you would expect to get the best ever from Utah. Well, man, they've been getting punked all fucking year, and this is just what Utah does. And Dallas is feeling themselves, and they're going to step on these motherfuckers. And not to mention that your best player has got a quad injury now. Yeah, he's going to play because this game matters, but is he going to be 100%? I don't believe so. So now you even got a knock on a guy who's been doing this thing, and they still couldn't get it done when he was 100%. Man, it's just simple to me. I'm not overthinking it. I don't give a fuck what the line's doing. Dallas is a better team. They're a better coach team. They have the best fucking player on the court, and they have the clutchest player on the court. Better. I could just keep going on and on. And honestly, you touched on it, Jim. Utah shot 10 fucking %, the worst they've done in a long, long time. And they only scored 77 points, the least amount since 2018. So the Mavericks are fucking locking in on D. They're improving every game. And then in previous game, the Mavericks actually shot their worst from the 3-point line and still blew these motherfuckers out. 27% from the 3-point line, lowest in the series that they've shot. I expect that to improve. Finney Smith, Jalen Brunson, you got Dinwiddie coming back off the bench where he's supposed to be. It just boosts up everyone. Everyone's got so much confidence. They know they got the best player on the court. They know Luka can carry him to the promised land. You think Utah Jazz going to get in that fucking way? Come on, man. They're a fade in their own. We got a team. This is just a beautiful thing because we got a team that we should be fading regardless of damn near whoever they play. And then we got a team over here in Dallas who's pretty much a goddamn auto bet against anyone they play when you got Luka and the defense they're playing right now and the team basketball they're playing. Now they're 4-1 ATS last 5 on the road. They're 9-1 ATS last 10 meetings versus these boys and 5-2 straight up last 7 versus the Jazz. Luka, since he's been back, 31.5 points in the 2 games, 11.5 rebounds. Luka the motherfucking Don will do his thing in Utah. The Jazz are a fade, man. 1-4 ATS last, 1-4-1 ATS last 6 at the house. 0-4 ATS last 5 at home versus the Mavs. I'm all over the Dallas Mavericks here. You want to get cute, go first quarter, first half, or Utah, whatever. Just make sure you got some money on the Dallas Mavericks full game because that's good money.
What a great breakdown. I loved every second of it. We did find a minus 107 on the Mavs. That's available at Pinnacle right now. And we're in business. We're in business. Alvin Smith says, so why the line so low? I mean, look, clearly, just like in game 5, they're going to be sharps on the Jazz.
Right. The game was minus 3 at 2.5. So is the line really that low when it was minus 2.5 in Dallas?
Yeah.
Look at it that way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They're plus 8 last time without fucking Luka in Dallas. So that just tells you, you know what I mean?
It's going to be extremely enjoyable. I can't wait. I can't wait. So, and Mad Stoney says it beautifully. He says it's trap season, but we got the master keys to the trap door. It's Dutch. That's what Mad Stoney.
Man. I dig it. And we got Luka the motherfucking Don who will bust through any motherfucking trap. Believe that.
Dutch has the Mavs minus, and these are available as we speak. Mavs minus 107 and the Raptors plus 104. And I'm on the exact same shit.
We're going straight to the window, Jim. It's going to be a good night. Believe that.
Oh, God, I can't wait. I just leaky palms already. I'm so excited. I couldn't be more excited. And the playoffs in NBA and NHL look to be unbelievable this year. And already the playoffs in NBA have been so wildly interesting. I mean,
I'm very excited for tonight, but we got a Bucks and Celtics series that's about to start too this weekend. I mean, that's lovely, man.
Can you give us a little before we go, a little lean or your I know you're going to break it
right
down.
now. Right now it's bleed green, man. They the best to me. They playing the best basketball in the NBA. Chris Middleton is a big piece for the Bucks being out. If he was in, we could talk. But I fuck with Drew. I'm a Drew guy. But you seen what they did to KD. You don't think they're going to have a little something for Giannis? Come on now. I'm all over Boston here. I definitely think Boston right now is the best team in the NBA. When Book comes back and shows he's healthy, then we could talk Phoenix. But that defense, that chip they play with from their starting point guard, from their head coach, that shit carries on and travels well. Travels very well. Ask Brooklyn.
And so what is your plan then? At this point, Celtics are minus 210 to win the series. And I know you like going game by game. So is that your plan?
I hate these future bets. Game bet. They're gonna win these first 2 at the house, and then we'll look at Milwaukee. Back. It's gonna be a series. Milwaukee ain't gonna show up like Brooklyn. They will show up unlike Brooklyn, I should say. It'll be a series, but man, they got the dogs over there. They got Smart. Their head coach, man, I like that dude. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a big piece in this. I'm not a big Budenholtz guy, I'm not a big booty guy. So, I like me this Ugo. He still got something to prove, but I like his aura that he has on the bench. I like how he kind of holds these motherfucking players responsible. We'll get in their ass like you mentioned about Willie Green. I just like what I see from him, and the team has responded unbelievably since the second half, and really since they got the horses back, got Robert Williams back. But Chris Middleton being out for Milwaukee has an awful lot to do with it, Jim.
And so, do you think the minus 4.5 is going to be there come tip off, or do you think that's something maybe you do?
I do. I believe there's a lot of Milwaukee backers, and I don't think people are really sold on Boston. I mean, look, people were still betting Brooklyn against Boston.
Yeah, they were.
They really were. So,
I love it.
I'm not going to rush to bet it. I'm worrying about tonight, but 4.5, 5, I don't think that line will move too much, though, because I do believe there's a lot of Milwaukee love. I don't think they realize how good Chris Middleton is. And I'm not saying he's a superstar, but he's a really good basketball player that you're going to miss. Especially on that roster. When you look down on the bench, you don't really got too much after Bobby Portis. Now you bring him in. I mean, you're relying on Patrick Connaughton and Mr. Dookie, who had himself a series. I can't think of his name, but you know what I'm talking about, the white boy.
Dutch, it's such a treat to have you on the show every Thursday. We all look forward to it. And your record speaks for itself. one more time. Dutch on our show is 49 wins, 26 losses, 65.3%, plus 21.68 units. ROI plus 28.91%. Average line minus 105. And just something I haven't done, which I probably should have done just before you go. Let's
Alan.
Let's take a. Where is it? I'm gonna
Good point, Jared. Good
pull up Dutch's record just real quickly, just to show you guys what he's done just of late here, and then you can. I know you got lots of work to do to prepare for your next show as well, and I don't mean to keep you, but I do want to just do this very quickly because it's just been so spectacular, and we know how hard it is. We know how hard it is. That's why it's important to recognize and feel good, and celebrate winners, because it's so hard. So over your last 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 bets on the show, you are 15-2 against the spread.
Hey, yeah, I'm glad I stuck around for that one. That give me a little boost. Go blast these legs for an hour real quick. That'll have me feeling real good, Jimmy. Yeah,
well, thank you for sharing your hard work with us. Look, I just
I love it, bro.
I even got a little bit of goosebumps there. I swear to God.
Yeah,
15-2 against the spread on the show. Love you, man. Have a great day. Have a great show at 4 p.m. And can't wait to do this again with you this Thursday. I'll be texting you through the night.
Man. Let's have a night. It's gonna be a big one, Jim, for sure.
Let's do it.
Got the
there he is,
racking.
coming to us from Las Vegas, Nevada. Dutch boy fresh in the house. There is your show for the day. Let's review all action here. First off, let's give a big happy birthday to guys we love. Nutflush, Allen, Rocky Medichetti, and Antoine Carson. Happy birthday to all you guys. So much love for you guys. Let's go over NHL here quickly, MLB, and we don't need to go over NBA again because I will go because we just did, so I think we're good. But let's just go over quickly NHL. We'll start with Mr. Gogster, who's 6-2 over his last 8. Mr. Gogster and I both need a nice late season push in the strong playoffs. We are a little disappointed in how we've done this year. Mr. Gogster is a 2-team money line parlay, the Hurricanes and the Avalanche. He cashed yesterday with a 2-team parlay, and that was Winnipeg and LA Kings. He's doing it again with the Hurricanes and the Avalanche at -117. He's on the Capitals in regulation at +120, and that feels like it looks like that's the spot here. I'm sure the Islanders would like to play spoiler, and I kind of like my card, but I'm going to look a little deeper into that. He's on Washington regulation at +120. He's on Ottawa first period money line +160, and Ottawa full game +210. He's on Minnesota first period at -118, and Minnesota full game -120, and Vancouver full game at -121. I went dog heavy here, and we'll see how that works. I've never done it this dramatically before, so we'll see. I'm on the Sabres +270, the Senators +220. Devils +270, Sharks +270, and the Canucks -1.5 +190. So I feel pretty good about that spot. Then in MLB, Sharpie moved on 3 bets. We have a say hey play of the day. We have a spreadsheet play, and we have a taint. So taint is the White Sox first 5 -0.5. I'm on the Brewers first 5 -0.5 and Brewers full game -1. Astute Chaos NBA. I'd like to drop this real quick because he's just been crushing. Here's a parlay. Dallas, Utah first half under 108. Dallas, Utah first quarter under 53.5. With Philadelphia, Toronto first quarter. Is that first quarter Astute under or over? I don't have an under or over here. So sorry, Astute's probably still in the chat, so you can let us know there. Padres, Reds, we stayed off. I'm on the Orioles first 5 +0.5 at +110. Sharpie's on hits, runs, errors over 23.5 in the Rockies Phillies game. Marlins, Nats, we stayed off. Spreadsheet play today is the Tampa Rays. I stayed off of the Tigers, thank God. Sharpie's on the Astros -1.5, full game at +101. Say hey, Royals, White Sox first 5 under 3.5. Red Sox, Jays, we stayed off. Over 8 -125 in the Guardians, Angels. Cubs, Braves, we stayed off. And I'm interested in the over in the Diamondbacks, Cardinals. But I tell you what, I'm looking to start. It looks like I shouldn't. I don't want to get too into this, but I'm on my way to an impressive day. And if I do go 3-0 on these first 3 MLB bets, I'm going to shut down the MLB and take the perfect day, take the fucking money, and then focus on NBA and NHL. So that will be my plan. If I don't go 3-0, I probably move on that late over. North Ender says, I feel a big day coming. So do I, with all these great guys having their birthday today. Let's get that money, man. Enjoy the draft. So we have a huge day of shows here. At 3:10 p.m., we have prize picks with our man Sharpie. It's all player props. Then at 4 p.m., NBA Pub Hub. At 5:30, we have Say Hey Plays with Jose Bouquet starring Babano. And then at 8 p.m., we have live draft coverage. Yeah, Astute, what's that first quarter? Is that over with the Philly Toronto? Is that over or under 53? That was the only thing I'd like to know. I would like to know. Thank you guys all so much for everything. Let's have ourselves a giant night. Let's roll that shit in tomorrow and keep on winning. Keep on winning. Shout out to everybody who joined us today. Astute Chaos, North Ender, Real Deal Prime, Luchase Fox, Mad Stony, Jared TG, Red Girl, AOD, Paul Trippy, Jeffrey Shutsky, T-Mac, Vipe, Fat Wally, Nikolai Jubinski, my guy Jay Peasy in the house.
Is our relationship going to change when Deebo Samuels becomes a Jet tonight? It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
God.
2 second-round picks. You're going to take it. And
What a night of sports we have, eh? God damn. Huge giant night of sports. Also a week before the Derby and the NFL draft. And we are lucky to be alive. This is so much fun. It couldn't get more fun. Keep that spectacular record going. I do it with 10 unit intervals. So you make your goal for 30 units, make it for 30 units, get there, then go to 40, then 50, and then finish over 100.
Well, unfortunately, 20 has been a bitch so far, but we're making our way through, and it's all that matters that we're plus money here. It's all that matters. Winning capper, as they say, and I think it's the mustache, Jim. I will admit, the mustache has been propelling me to greatness.
It was your turning point in your career thus far.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
you
fact.
Became a winning capper. It was wild.
I still get messages about that run. It's legendary. It will go down in gambling history, as they say.
You've earned it. Real Deal Prime says peace to every one of you. Hard to have peace when we have all this action going. So winners to all of you. On behalf, a great job. Thank you to my producer, Jose Bouquet. On behalf of all of us here at Pub Sports Radio, Jeff Slaughter, Jose Bouquet, myself, Big Show, and everybody behind the scenes and in front of the camera. We can't do it without you. So thank you so much for your support. Watching us means the world. Let's get the fucking money. Let's Hey, Los bookmakers.